And good evening and welcome to Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia. The last time we took the radio airwaves as the play-by-play voice of the Newton Rams, a heartbreaking defeat at the hands of the Parkview Panthers, a 58-6 loss that set the Newton program back, well, we hope not too many years, because here they are to take the field in 1996. Perhaps we'll have a 37th birthday present this evening for head coach Joe Brassfield, as this evening it's the Central Macon Chargers and our own Newton Rams. And welcome to Newton Ram football. I'm Kevin Holden, and to my right, at least for the first part of the 96 season, the man they call the Big Dog, Paul Dailey, the man who knows so much about football that they're going to take him away from me in a couple weeks and stick him up in this coaching box upstairs. So, Big Dog, let's get right to it. First of all, the Central Macon Charger team, you had a chance to scout them last week in the Jamboree. What'd you find out?
Well, Kevin, we went down to Milledgeville. They had a Jamboree in Baldwin County, and Central Macon was able to play a couple of teams that played Baldwin County. They also played Putnam County and Wilkerson County in a little Jamboree. No score was taken, but Central Macon has a lot of key players, a lot of key skilled players that may give Newton County some fits, but we prepared all.
Band here at Central High School in Macon, Georgia, presenting our national anthem. Now, Paul, before we go to break, and we've talked about Central Macon here, let's talk a little bit about the Newton Rams and their preseason preparation. You've had a chance to see it from a little different vantage point this year.
Yeah, it's been a real big honor to be called upon by Coach Joe Brassfield to ask me to come down and join the coaching staff, and I'm going to do that come the third week of the season. I have to go to a couple of required coaching classes, and I'm going to get that done during the middle part of September. But I've been out on the field and just kind of seeing what it's like and getting to know the players. And Newton Rams have a really good bunch of athletes, have a lot of skilled players, got a lot of young guys too. But you had mentioned earlier about the Parkview loss last year, 58-6. I haven't heard a thing about that. I heard one coach say something about leaving a clipboard there, but that's the only thing that I've heard about it. So that game is out of their minds. They've had a lot of focus on east side of last week. They got that out of their mind, and now they've been totally focused on Central Macon. And with Hurricane Fran, they was worried about the weather, but this is typical beautiful September football evening. The weather has got to be in the high 80s or low 90s. It's just typical great football weather in the September.
Well, of course, you've got to understand if the coach would want to leave a clipboard at Parkview, given the situation there, the luck was probably not with that clipboard, so sure they got a new one for this year.
I'm surprised they didn't leave anything else there.
We'll be back right after this. Kevin Holden and Paul Dailey bringing you the Newton Ram Tailgate Show. Later on in the game, we'll be introduced to the man who will try to fill the Big Dog shoes later on this year, Mark Birch. We'll talk to him at halftime, and we will hear from him starting the third week of the Newton Rams season on September 20th when the Rams go to Athens and take on the Clark Central Gladiators. In just a moment, the starting lineups for the Newton Rams and the Chargers of Central Macon. Right after this, WGFS AM 1430. And we are back on the Newton Ram Tailgate Show with your starting lineup for the Newton Rams, and they'll be taking the field in just a couple of minutes here at Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia, as they're about set to get underway and kick off their 1996 season against Central Macon. For the Rams on offense, they look this way. One of the receivers lining up on the left side as the what Coach Brassfield calls the Z receiver is Lumbricus Johnson, but that'll be the last time we call him Lumbricus. He will, from this point forward, be known as Bree. So Bree Johnson as the Z receiver. At quick tackle, number 15, Akita Webb, and as the quick guard, Habeas White, two returners from last year's team. At center, another returning starter, Josh Gill. At the strong guard position, Greg Benson, and at the strong tackle, Brian Edwards. Two big boys on that side, and the tight end is Roderick Henderson with his first varsity action there. The other wideout will split time between Sonny Kaysen and Rodney Smith. Quarterback for the Newton Rams is Kerry Gilstrap, only a sophomore, and he'll be tested early on here. Tailback will be Jonathan Price, and the fullback, Katori Maddox. Now, Paul, if you'll give us the defensive starters here for the Newton Rams.
So the Newton Rams are going to run a 4-4 defense, Kevin, and they're going to be based around the big defensive end, number 58, Greg Benson, who's had a great preseason, and he's going to be looked at by a lot of colleges around the Southeast and around the nation. Defensive tackle will be Brian Edwards, another big guy pushing about 270 pounds. The other defensive tackle will be Habeas White, is another 250-plus defensive tackle. The other one is probably one of the most athletic defensive ends that they have, is number 50, Nikita Webb. At outside linebacker will be starting at Katori Maddox. Inside linebacker will be Joe Cox. The other inside linebacker will be Josh Millwood, a senior. Outside linebacker on the other side will be Roderick Henderson, starting for the first time here tonight. Cornerback will be Sonny Kaysen, but he'll be splitting a lot of time with Rodney Smith. Free safety is probably the best athlete on the field, Gary Brown, number 3. And also at the other cornerback will be Bree Johnson, another great athlete that will help this Newton County team this year.
And we have at least the offensive starters for the Chargers of Central Macon, so let's give those to you now. This Central Macon team starting several seniors. In fact, they start 5 of them in their starting lineup, including split end Lester Gilbert. Along the front line, they have junior Donnie Brown at 1 tackle, and freshman Jarman Sample is the other tackle. They have also Jim Vance as their center. He's a senior. The 2 guards are Vic Tolliver, a junior, and Nate Rowland, another junior. And Paul, you have a little something about Tony Gilbert, their junior tight end.
Yeah, we saw him last week. He's number 4, and he's about Greg Benson's size, but probably 2 or 3 steps quicker. Great athlete, only a junior.
The wingback for Central Macon, a senior, Tony Arnold. The quarterback, also a senior, Stuart Walker. Robert Cummings, a senior, and Jesse Snell, a junior, comprise the backfield for the Chargers. And we will be back with the kickoff of the 1996 season. We've been waiting, probably 9.5, 10 months for this, and we're about to get it underway in just a moment. The Newton Rams and Central Macon Chargers next, here on WGFS, AM 1430. And we're back, almost set to kick off. It's the Newton Rams and Central Macon Chargers tonight from Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia. And welcome back. I'm Kevin Holden, along with Paul Dailey, the man they call the Big Dog, and the coin toss we're seeing right now at midfield. The captains for the Rams, Josh Gill and Greg Benson. And we'll see the toss in just a moment. Now, Paul, tell us some of the keys for the Rams to picking up a win tonight.
Well, the Rams are going to have a good defensive effort. Now, their defense is probably the best part of the team. The offense is a little questionable because you got a sophomore leading the offense, but they got a lot of skilled players. You got a tailback in Jonathan Price who gained over 1,000 yards last year. I'm anxious to see. I know the defense is going to be good. I'm anxious to see what the offense is going to do. Now, Central Macon runs a veer. They're not going to do anything fancy. They're just going to run straight at you, and I think our defense is going to be prepared for that.
Well, the Rams, if you're looking for a little bit of history in their matchup against Central Macon, there isn't much of it. They have taken them on twice in 1982 and 83. They lost 27-0 in 82, but avenged that with a 17-7 victory in 83 over the Chargers. So not a lot of history to build on here, but those 2 matchups back in the time, close to when somebody around here played. But you missed these games.
Yeah, that was the year I went on to NC State. I graduated in 82, but the football season was the 1981 season. So, yeah, I didn't get to play Central Macon, but that team, the 82 team, went on to participate in the playoffs.
And as far as openers are concerned, the Rams are looking for their 3rd straight win in their opening game. In other words, they've picked up the wins over Redan in their openers the past 2 years. If they can get the win tonight, it'll be their 3rd straight opening win for only the 3rd time in school history. They did it from 1956 to 58, and then again from 64 to 67. That's the longest string, 4 straight opening wins. And this Ram team has a chance to join up with a little bit of history with that. They are 3-2-1 in the 1990s in their openers, including the last 2 in a row over Redan. Here's an interesting note. Of course, those games against the Redan Raiders the last few years, very low-scoring games, one of them in a pouring rainstorm. In the last 4 openers for the Rams, an interesting note. When they score 7 or fewer points, which they've done 3 times, they're 2-0-1. They're undefeated when they score 7 or fewer points. When they score more than 7, they're 0-1. In fact, that was your debut here, a 38-30 loss to the Heritage Patriots.
Yeah, I remember that. Those days don't seem too long ago. When I was out there on the field with the guys right before the game started, I was just looking at the different coaches and saying, look, if you have an extra uniform, I'd love to put one on.
Well, maybe you'll get the chance to put something at least close to a uniform on in a couple of weeks. And Big Dog's picks will continue, though, even though you'll be leaving us in a couple of weeks. We'll still hear the wisdom of the big dog at halftime.
Oh, I enjoy that. My record's not too good, but I enjoy doing it. It's kind of fun, and it's something that we've done for a couple of years now, and at least we have 2 or 3 people listening to it, because I have a couple of people come up to me every week and tell me how bad my picks were, so that's enjoyable to hear.
You lost part of your listening audience, though, as Bill Dolan has taken over the play-by-play of the Eastside Eagles. He and Tim Bice bringing you the Eagles action all year long. We're about set to kick off here as the Newton Rams in their opening game. By the way, one other note for the Rams: if they score more than 30 points in their opening game, they are undefeated in their entire school history, 5-0. Due to kick off here for the Central Macon Chargers, John Jones. He is a senior. Back to receive for the Rams. We have Bree Johnson. We're going to get that straight. It's Bree and Jonathan Price. Kickoff goes Price's way. He takes it at the 1-yard line. He gains out to the 10 to the 15, cuts back upfield. He is still up, and at the 15, taken out of bounds by the Central Macon Chargers. Actually, is a little past the 20-yard line. So the Rams with a fairly decent field position starting out.
Pretty good return there by Jonathan Price. Jonathan's going to show that all night. He's probably one of the quickest side-to-side juke move athletes I've ever seen. He reminds me a lot of his uncle who played with me, Vincent Price, back in the early 1980s. But he's simply a model of his uncle.
Telling me Vincent Price was a thriller? Okay, we'll stop the puns. First down for the Rams on their own 21-yard line. Kerry Gilstrap over center. Jonathan Price and Katori Maddox your backfield. Gilstrap's first snap of the 1996 season about to get underway. Man in motion. Keeps it himself. Faked the handoff, and he is tackled at the 20-yard line. Looked for some room on the left side, but Central Macon closed it off.
What Kerry tried to do there was simply a veer left, just trying to get the feel of the game. First play jitters out of the way. Good smart move by Coach Brassfield just to get Kerry his first varsity snap. Didn't pick up very much yard. Matter of fact, he lost about a half a yard, but got those first snap jitters out of the way.
We are underway. The 1996 football season promises to be a good one for the Newton Rams. You stay tuned for all 10 Newton Ram games here on WGFS, either live or tape delay. Gilstrap with the snap on second down. Gives to Maddox. Maddox breaking and past the 30-yard line and tackled out there at the 31. And Katori Maddox making his stamp here at the varsity level.
The Newton Rams have a lot of different fullbacks, but Katori Maddox is definitely the quickest and probably the runner that's going to give you the most effort. And he showed it right there. He's hit the line of scrimmage when able to pick up 9 yards. It's going to bring up a third down and about a half a yard to go.
And we're going to have a timeout here, and this may be a timeout to measure. We have splitting to the sidelines for the Rams, Rodney Smith, and Smith is going to see some time at wide receiver. He comes out. Sonny Kaysen comes in for the third down and 1 play. Now, since you're going to be in a coaching position, let's put you in it right now. What would you do?
I'll simply go with a veer either way, probably behind Greg Benson and Brian Edwards to the right side, but we'll see what they do.
Price and Maddox set to go. So is Gilstrap. He gives to Price. Price is stuffed behind the 30-yard line. They read it all the way. Making the big hit is Ray Bright, a defensive end who's a senior. Also, there's big Tony Gilbert in on the play.
Coach Brassfield decided to go veer left, the way away from Greg Benson and Brian Edwards, maybe the trick, go on the weak side, but the Central Macon Chargers were there to meet that and was a loss of about 4 yards on the play. So it's going to bring up 4th and 5, and Sonny Kaysen will be back to punt.
Now we're going to see exactly what the Rams special teams will be like for 1996. We've heard some words about this. We'll find out. Sonny Kaysen gets a good snap. There's a penalty flag. His kick is a very good one. Spiraling kick past midfield, taken at the 42. Down by Ray Presley, who slipped on the turf. And we've got to check this flag here back at the 23-yard line of the Rams.
Well, it's going to be offsides, either the Rams or the Chargers. They're going to call it on the Rams, so I'm sure they'll back that up and make them punt again.
For right now, the Ram defense congregating at midfield.
Central Macon has decided to decline the penalty, and take the ball on about their own 45-yard line.
So that punt, a 29-yard punt from Sonny Kaysen, and the Central Macon Chargers will take the field with their veer offense behind senior quarterback Stuart Walker. Now we'll get a chance to see that Ram defensive front, and we've heard a lot about the defensive line. One of the strengths of this team.
Central Macon's decided to go hurry-up offense here. Let's see if Newton's ready.
See if we're ready in the press box. First down, Central at their own 45. Stuart Walker pitches right side to the 45 to the 50. Breaking into Newton territory is Robert Cummings, a senior. He got a good block. and is near first down territory at the Newton 45.
The Central Macon Chargers love to run a pro offense, pro-type offense, and they're going to the hurry-up, so I'm not going to be able to talk here, but picked up first down on that play.
Now they're at Newton's 45. They pitch left side to Cummings. This time Cummings eludes one block, but gets stuffed by Gary Brown and also Habeas White, and he is back around the 45, around the original line of scrimmage, so the Rams read that one well.
One of the things the Chargers are going to have a hard time doing is running against Greg Benson's side. Their offense usually runs away from their tight end, what we saw last Friday night in Baldwin County, but Greg Benson was on that play and made a big stop for only a half-a-yard gain.
Walker over center as they're trying to surprise the Rams with this offense. They go straight up the gut, and the Rams are right there at the gut to stop Cummings. Cummings may have gotten a yard or two basically by falling forward and pushing on a bunch of bodies, but that's all he did.
A great job there by Nikita Webb, who's playing the left defensive end slot. He's always away from the tight end, and they're going to run a lot to Nikita's side tonight, but he was there to take the dive and brought him down for only a yard gain.
Paul, you remember last year against Redan, the Rams 34 yards total offense, yet they managed to pick up the 6-3 win. Let's hope we don't have another one like that. Walker is back. He's looking to pass here. The pass is up, looking for the long man. It's complete. Touchdown, Central Macon Chargers, but we have a flag. Complete to Lester Gilbert, the senior. The 43-yard touchdown pass, but again, check the hanky.
It's going to be a holding against the Chargers, so that one's going to come way back. What happened on that play, Stuart Walker just went back and threw a post pattern, and Sonny Caston was beat on the play, but that's all coming back.
And the Central Macon fans who had jumped to their feet as they thought they had their Chargers' first points of the year are sitting down, some standing up in utter disbelief as a 43-yard touchdown pass, one of the most exciting plays in football. The post pattern, he hit him, but it will be called back.
It was a good move there by the wide receiver, put a move on Sonny Caston, and Sonny just kind of froze, and he got by him, and Sonny was beat, and there was a beautiful throw there by Stuart Walker. But there was a holding play, so that's going to be very fortunate for the Rams. But Sonny Caston is he's receiving a nice talking to over there on the sidelines, and Rodney Smith has come in to take his spot.
So now, instead of it being a third and fairly short situation, it's 3rd and 16. We have 8:52 left in the first quarter. Still no score from Thompson Stadium in Macon. Walker will once again look to pass on 3rd down. Being pursued, he's going to scramble up the right sideline, breaks one tackle, and at the 45, tripped up, but he's still a good 10 yards short of the first down. Paul, I think we'll see Central Macon punt here.
Yeah, we'll wait to see. They are sending on the punter, number 3, John Jones. Great play there by Habeas White. He was the backside tackle on that and went down the field, 13 yards down the field, and made the tackle. Nikita Webb got a little bit tangled up in there and was unable to contain the quarterback, and Stuart Walker picked up about 10 yards, but not enough, and they're going to have to punt it away.
John Jones, who also handled the kickoff to start this game, will be punting here from his own 42-yard line. Gary Brown, the lone man back to receive at his own 10. And the snap is gotten off, but not before we hear the whistles and another hanky. Check it out.
It's usually going to be on all sides, and we'll wait to see who it's against.
Going back, well, we have a moment here to that Redan game last year. If you had looked at the stats and figured that you saw the Rams with 26 yards rushing, 8 yards passing on one completed pass, don't think you would have expected him to come out with the win.
No, that was a total defensive game. We were up there. Luckily, we had a couple of field goals, but that was a true defensive game. Something you expect out of a first game, not a lot of scoring. We may see that again tonight.
Now this time the punt does get off, and it is a long and high punt, and it'll bounce in the end zone and out the back of the end zone, a touchback. We'll see the Rams started on their own 20-yard line. We're going to be back. Folks, it's football season. How about it? Exciting Ram football right here on WGFS AM 1430.
Welcome back to Thompson Stadium here in Macon, Georgia. Back with the play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
All right, Paul Dailey, thank you very much. Tough adjustment getting to that first game here, isn't it? Kerry Gilstrap over center. First down, Rams at their own 20. Fakes the handoff, and they read it, and right on top of him immediately to make the tackle for a loss, Willie Jenkins. Jenkins, a sophomore, playing defensive end today, and read that play, was not fooled by the fake of Gilstrap.
Central Macon doesn't really match up real well with the offensive front from Newton High School. Newton High School is a lot bigger, but Central Macon's got a lot of quick guys up there, and number 24, Jeremy Nelson, just showed how Ray Bright, I'm sorry, it showed how quick he really was and was able to stop Kerry Gilstrap for about a 4-yard loss.
So second down, Newton all the way back now to their own 17-yard line. You can also hear the Central Macon Charger Band. The Blue Rambler Band will take the field during halftime. They pitch right side, go to Price. Price with a block and a hole and past the 20 out to about the 25-yard line. Jonathan Price, a man that the Rams are expecting big things out of this year. Price, last year, 1,085 yards rushing.
One thing we just saw, Jonathan's down on the field, and that's one thing you don't want to see is your star tailback down early in the first quarter here. Probably just got the breath knocked out of him. He's a tough kid, thick and solid. I'm sure he'll be back in there.
And, of course, as hot as it is tonight, you're going to see a lot of folks going down with cramps and other various injuries. We've seen it in the college games that we've watched played in this area, and I'm sure this will be no exception tonight.
Yeah, he's getting up real quick. He's probably just got the breath knocked out of him. But he's going to be something that the Rams are going to have to get the balls in his hands. He's a class tailback, probably one of the quickest ones in the state, and he's definitely going to have to carry the ball 20 or 25 times for the Rams to win this season. Rams
with only 9 yards of total offense so far, all on the ground. 7 minutes, 1.5 seconds remaining. 3rd and 6. Rams on their own 24-yard line with the football. We'll see what they do here with the 3rd and 6. We may see Kerry Gilstrap dropping back for the first time here in 96.
Yeah, he can throw the ball real well. We'll probably see a pass here.
Bree Johnson on one side. On the other side, it's Rodney Smith. And Gilstrap is dropping back. He is being pursued, and they got him back at the 7-yard line. Central Macon breaking through that Ram offensive front. And right now, whatever it is that they're doing, the Ram front has not figured out.
They do a lot of stunning with number 4, Tony Gilbert, the guy that I was really impressed with last week, and he's the one who made the sack on the play. He does a lot of stunning from his linebacker position, which the Rams have worked on all week, but it did give them a little trouble in practice, but they'll pick it up and they'll find out what they need to do to block that, and they'll be okay.
So 4th down, Newton at the 7-yard line, so with 4th down and a country mile basically to go, Rams will punt this one away with Kaysen. Kaysen gets it off in good shape, a spiraling kick. Taken at the 45-yard line, Larry Smith is busted up at the 45-yard line. Coming in for the hard hit for the Rams, number 41. We don't have him listed here.
His name's Quinn Barnes. He's a transfer from East Side, but he's also going to be the backup fullback, and he's a real aggressive player. Made a big hit there, and also Bree Johnson on the tackle.
37-yard punt, and no return as they were on top of him right away. So it'll be 1st down here for the Chargers. In Newton territory, though. Best field position that they have had, Newton's 44-yard line. Less than 6 minutes left to play here in the first quarter.
The Rams again lined up in a 4-4 with 2 great defensive ends, Nikita Webb and Greg Benson.
Walker over center and set to go. They go to Cummings on 1st down. Cummings still driving forward, keeping those legs in motion. You can tell you've got a quality running back there. He gains 4 on the play.
Central Macon's got a couple of tailbacks that they'll use tonight real quick. They run in and out of plays. The tailbacks bring the play in. But Stuart Walker is really a good quarterback. Not only can he run the veer, he can run the option, and he also can throw the ball.
2 wideouts split to the left side and 2 backs for the Chargers. They take the snap here, and after the fake handoff, sacked behind the 45-yard line is Stuart Walker. Making the play as Greg Benson, and Benson kind of slammed that one home with the pumped fist there.
Yeah, Greg's a real quiet kind of a guy, but he gets excited within himself. Just think about him. He's 6'3", 6'4", probably 260 pounds, runs about a 4.8 40. That's why a lot of colleges around the Southeast are very interested in this guy.
Senior Greg Benson, a man whom a lot of folks are going to be watching this year. Timeout on the field. The Chargers coming down to their sideline to talk with head coach Tom Simonson. We will be back with more of the first quarter of the Newton Rams and the Central Macon Chargers. No score from Thompson Stadium. Back after this. Newton Ram football on WGFS, AM 1430.
Back live here at Thompson Stadium here in Central Macon, Georgia. Rams are 0, Central Macon 0. Back with play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
We've got 4:59 left in the first quarter. Thank you very much, Paul Dailey.
And I need some practice on that. It has been a while.
So you had just when you'll get adjusted to this in 2 weeks.
Gotta go.
That's right. You'll be upstairs. Of course, so that means you can show off your new broadcast style for all the rest of the coaching staff. Third down here for Central Macon on Newton's 46-yard line. Walker fakes a handoff, rolling out right side, looking for an open man, goes downfield, and he was out of bounds. It was complete yet out of bounds. Tony Arnold, the wingback, a senior, on the Central Macon sideline, closest to the press box, however, had a foot out of bounds.
Stuart Walker he rolled out right. He was really rushed by Havius White and Nikita Webb. They did a good job of pursuing him down, kind of rushed the throw, but the ball was caught, but it was out of bounds. Good break there for the Newton Rams. It's going to bring up a fourth and about 10.5 yards, and John Jones is in the punt.
So neither offense able to do very much in the early going here. Central Macon, with Jones, will have to punt it away. He's standing in the same place he was last time around, his own 42. The snap to him bounced one time, but no Rams charged him, so he was able to get off a nice high kick. That one will bounce in the end zone, and once again, another touchback. That one, a 54-yard punt off of the booming right foot of John Jones, the kicker.
Well, that's one of the things where you really want your punter to get a lot of yardage and a lot of height on the ball, and that's exactly what he's doing, but he's hitting the ball into the end zone and is bringing it out on the 20, so his 54-yard punt is cut by 20, so you're actually talking about a 34-yard punch, which is pretty good, but he really is kicking the ball well.
And so the Rams, once again, on their own 20, it's where they've started basically each of these possessions. They were all the way up on the 21 to start their first possession. Two wideouts, Kaysen and Gary Brown. Brown will go in motion. We'll see a flag here crossing the line early on for Central Macon. Willie Jenkins. Flag may be on him, but then again, it may be a motion on the offense.
It's going to be an offense size against Greg Benson. He kind of jumped a little bit. One of the things about stunning linebackers, when the linebackers come up there and show blitz, one of the things you're worried about is who I'm going to block. Then you got to think about the snap count, and there's a lot of things going on in your head besides Friday night football, and it's a lot for the high school athlete to think about, but Greg was a little anxious there and jumped off sides. It's going to cost the Rams 5 yards.
The Newton crowd here at Thompson Stadium started out a little small, but they're starting to file in on the visitors' sideline, watching the Rams in action for the first time in '96. Brown in motion. Gilstrap takes a look at him. He's set to go. Pitches to Price. Price gets a block, cuts back inside, but he's stopped before he can get much gain. In fact, he may have lost a couple of yards on that one, down to about the 13.
The Rams are having a hard time up front blocking these quick defensive linemen and outside linebackers from Central Macon. What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to do some isolation and get those linebackers moving, or the Kerry Gilstrap's going to have to put the ball up. One of the things, you got to put the ball in Jonathan Price's hands. You also got to put the ball in Gary Brown's or someone's hands that's a big play person, and those two guys definitely are big play people.
Speaking of big, Gary Brown, large in stature and large in size, splits very wide to the left sideline. Gilstrap looked for the pitch, and he went up the middle for a couple of yards gain, but nothing huge as he goes to Katori Maddox, and he was stopped at around the 18-yard line. Rams still probably 13 yards away from the first down, and once again, they'll have to punt it away.
It's going to bring up a third down.
Wrong down there. Third down.
It's going to bring up third down. There was a penalty on the offside, so it's still first down. So they'll bring up a third down and probably 11. The ball there was to Katori Maddox, and he took a big hit but got right back up. That's good to see.
Well, like you said, Paul, it is early in the year. Guess we both need some work here. Get some practice in between the first and second game. Gilstrap over center. Looked like the offense wasn't ready there. They went to Maddox again, and he is stuffed at the 20-yard line. And I'll say this again. Now the Rams, well short on fourth down, probably going to punt it away.
The Rams still are having a tough time with the blitzing linebackers. And believe me, we worked on that all week long, but those guys are just so quick, and maybe we just didn't give them a good enough look, but we'll make adjustments at halftime. I'm sure Coach Brassfield and Don Shepard, the defensive coordinator, will make the proper adjustments, but still we're here in the first quarter.
Well, the defense continues to do the job. We are scoreless with 3 minutes left to play. The snap to Kaysen is a high one, but he gets the kick off, and in good shape takes a great Newton roll inside the Central 45 to the 42-yard line, where Bree Johnson touches it, and Central Macon will start with actually their worst field position, their own 42.
Well, it's a good thing to see that the Central Macon has won the battle of field position all night long here in the first quarter. We have 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Rams have yet to get across the 50-yard line. The field position has definitely been in the Central Macon's hands, but they have not been able to do anything with it, and that just shows you how tough the Newton defense is playing.
In fact, the farthest that Newton has gotten along where their offense is at the 30-yard line. That was on the third play from scrimmage, and Price had a run of -4 yards on that third down play. So they've had some trouble. They've yet to gain a first down, 3 and out, 3 straight series.
That's one of the things you expect out of the first game of the season. Ever since the Jamborees have been installed a couple of years ago, that kind of helps the offense get on track. But usually the first couple of games of the season, the offense is still getting on track, getting adjusted to each other. The running backs are taking hits from not their partners on their own team, but getting hit by opponents. So it takes a little bit of time, but the Rams will get everything adjusted. And their offense has a lot of talented, skilled people, so I'm sure they'll be okay.
Well, it has been a defensive affair so far, and the Newton Ram defensive front will attempt to do the same and keep Central maybe in their own territory for this full drive. The Chargers start at their own 42. Stuart Walker and his offense set to go. Fumble at the 40-yard line. It's a loose ball. Newton is motioning that they have the ball, and they do. The Rams recover the fumble at the 36-yard line. And speak of field position, there you go.
Good job there by Habeas White. Also, Brian Edwards in on the play. I think Greg Benson was the one who came up with the ball. And one thing you need to remember is these guys, Greg Benson, Brian Edwards, Habeas White, and these guys never come off the field unless it's a kickoff or an extra point or something like that. So these guys are going to be definitely tired. They're going to have to suck it up, drink a lot of fluids, and there they are. They've yet to come off the field. They're right back there on offense.
Here we go. First down, Central 37-yard line. For the first time, maybe we can call the Rams putting some points on the scoreboard. Gilstrap and his offense set to go. First down, they're looking to pass. He's being pursued. Gilstrap gets past 2 or 3 tackles, sprinting toward the sideline. He's at the 40, at the 35, tackled at the 32-yard line. And that is pure athleticism on the part of Kerry Gilstrap. He had 3 or 4 men after him, eluded them, and made it to the Central Macon sideline for that game.
Kerry Gilstrap's going to be one of the best athletes ever to come out of Newton County. And not only can he play football, he plays great basketball and baseball, but that right there from the get-go was just a jog for his life there. He just tried to get out of Dodge, and he was able to roll left here and pick up about 5 yards, and he had to run about 40 to pick up that 5.
That's the truth. That is the longest 5-yard run probably of his life. Well, they aren't giving him much time to throw, so we may see him go back to more of the running game here. Gilstrap pitches to Price, right side. Gets a pretty decent lead block, looking for room out there, and there's a penalty flag thrown. Price is down at the 34-yard line, and the flag is thrown at about that area.
Usually when you see that, it's going to be when it's close to the ball carrier, it's going to be a face mask or it's going to be a holding, and the referee is talking to the Central Macon captain, so it's going to be a call against the Rams.
Central Macon captain Larry Smith talking it over with the officials right now, and in just a moment they will motion to us what the call is. Looks like it is going against the Rams as they're marking off the territory. The ball is right now at the 34. That is soon to not be the case, as they will mark it out to the 46-yard line. That means the spot of the foul was about the 36, and it's a 10-yard penalty from that spot.
It's going to be an offensive holding, and I'm not sure where it was. It was out there where Jonathan was running, maybe one of the wide receivers or maybe the lead fullback. I'm not real sure, but it was definitely away from the offensive line, but it's going to back the Rams up. It's going to be second and a country mile.
Rams have hurt themselves with 2 big penalties for 15 yards. Gilstrap with the fake hit once and again at the 42-yard line. We'll see who that was. Gilstrap handed to Katori Maddox on that play, and Maddox with about a 4-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, Katori Maddox is one of the toughest kids I've ever seen. I mean, he just gets drilled in practice. He's getting drilled out here tonight, but he's the first one up off the pile, and really surprising. He's ran a couple of plays right up the middle and picked up a few yards and doing a good job.
Third down for the Rams from Central's 42-yard line. They've had great field position, but not been able to do much with it. 3rd and 15 here, as we're down to now 1:07 left in the first quarter. Still no score. The defense has done their job, and the offense looking to try to do the same. Gilstrap goes back. This time he got some good blockage, and the ball up in the air and intercepted by the Central Macon Chargers right out of the hands of Bree Johnson, and intercepted by Sean Barrett. Barrett, a junior, playing in the secondary, and caught that read perfectly as it was almost tipped up in the air by Bree Johnson.
Good job there by Kerry Gilstrap, rolling to his left. Kind of a hard throw when you're throwing against your body like that, but he made just a great throw to Bree Johnson. Bree kind of tipped it. A little bit of lack of concentration on his part, and popped the ball up, and Central Macon was able to intercept the ball. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Central Macon Chargers on their own 33-yard line.
You can feel more comfortable passing in this territory here, because even with the fumble, now Central in pretty bad field position, and on first down, absolutely no gain up the middle. They went to Robert Cummings, but I think the Rams have figured them out.
Good job there by Nikita Webb and also Greg Benson, both the defensive end converging on that veer left play. The Rams have worked real hard against the veer this week. They shut down all the offenses, the scout team, the second offense that went against them all week. So the Newton Ram defense is here to play tonight. We just got to get the offense on track.
2nd and 8.5 here from Central's 35. 26 seconds left in the first quarter now. Walker and his offense set to go. He's rolling out left side, looks and has a completion at the 42-yard line, eluding one tackler, now another one, and now with some open room at the 50-yard line. He's brought down finally in Ram territory at the 45-yard line. Larry Smith with the reception, and so many miles later, a Ram defender bringing him down, but after a gain of about 20 yards.
Yeah, good rush there by the defensive line for the Rams, but Stuart Walker was able to get the ball to number 10. Number 10, Larry Smith, did a good job of catching the ball over the middle, and Jeremy Shear was there to make the stop.
And that's the end of your first quarter. This first quarter featured a total of 2 first downs, not much in the way of offense from either side, and no score. So as we end the first quarter of play, we can say this much: we have a definite defensive battle brewing. And Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia is our site for this one this evening, and we'll be back with more after this. You are listening to exciting Newton Ram football live here on WGFS, AM 1430.
Still 0-0 here in Central Macon, where the Central Macon Chargers and the Newton Rams are playing. A 0-0 tie. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Back in black. It's kind of a Falcons thing, you know. We start the second quarter here with no score. First down at Newton's 45 for the Central Macon Chargers, and immediately hit after the snap was Stuart Walker. Habeas White got to him. Now, he got out of White's clutches and gained a couple of yards, but that's a good psychological thing because Habeas White was immediately on top of him.
Good job of penetration there by Habeas White. Was able to grab the quarterback's leg, but Stuart Walker is strong enough to jerk his leg out from Habeas White's grasp and was able to pick up a couple of yards.
2nd down and 8. So if you're on the defensive side and you've got a scoreless battle like this, does this boost your confidence?
Well, it boosts the confidence, but you're talking about the same players. What they're doing is they're dragging so much on the offensive side, they're trying to rest on offense, and that's something you can't do.
2nd down and breaking across one tackle and another one, and out to first down territory is the Central Macon Chargers, and it's slashing running back Jesse Snell, the junior fullback. They haven't gone to him yet, but the first carry for Snell is a big one for 13 yards and a first down.
Oh, that was a great run there by Jesse Snell. He got hit at the line of scrimmage, got hit at the linebackers, got hit again by Gary Brown, was able still to pick up a big play.
And now it's time for the defense to show what they can do in close range here, 30 yards away. Walker over center. He's going to look for the pass. It's up there and complete. And he hits him at the 15-yard line. Gary Brown does, and takes down number 88, who isn't listed in our program. So number 88 makes the reception here for the Central Macon Chargers, and about a 15-yard gain. Sorry, he's not in our program, folks.
I don't really understand why he's not in the program, because last week against the Baldwin County team, he was one of the stars of the game, making a couple of receptions. But Gary Brown was down on the play, made a big hit on number 88. Maybe got like a little pinched shoulder or something, but he's a tough kid. He'll get right back up.
4th first down in this game for the Chargers, and their second completed pass. As a matter of fact, they are 2 out of 3 in the passing game for 35 yards. So when they have completed it, they've done it right, and they've done it for good yardage. And I'm sure that Tom Simonton, the head coach of the Chargers, likes what he sees out of that passing side of the offense the few times they've used it.
One of the things we got to do is we got to make sure Gary Brown gets back in there. And he's a tough kid. He looks like he's maybe in a little bit of pain, but he used his shoulder on that tackle against number 88. Just popped, he just hit him hard, put him back about 5 yards. And Gary loves to make big hits, and I think he was on the on the bad receiving end of that one.
So first down from Newton's 15, and now in the red zone. A little bit of a different look maybe from the Central Macon Chargers.
Not real sure. It's hard. They're still in the huddle, but they only usually have 2 formations, tight end, and when they don't run a tight end, they just use the extra wide out. But that's the only 2 formations they've shown last week, and that's the only 2 formations they've shown here tonight.
We'll see what they will do inside the red zone. They are in the huddle. They got some kind of special instructions from Tom Simonton on the sideline here. The Ram defense giving up kind of the drive here, starting from Central's 33 and now at Newton's 15-yard line. So talking about a 52-yard drive so far.
Well, Quint Thomas has come in to replace Gary Brown and look for Central Macon to try to test him a little bit.
Here's Walker, first down from the 15. They pitch right side with Cummings. Cummings going inside, busting inside, and he is down inside the 5 and close to the touchdown range. He is tackled at the 4-yard line. That's an 11-yard gain, and now the Rams in trouble, possibly surrendering their first points of 1996.
Yeah, the defense has been playing pretty good. They gave up a couple of long run plays here and a pass play. The interception the interception is what started all of this, but the guys out there on the defensive line are really sucking air. They're tired. Like I said, they're going both ways.
First down from the 4 now, and they go to Cummings. Cummings, untouched, is in there, but a flag is down. And
it's definitely going to be an offsides against the Central Macon Chargers.
The offside will move them back and perhaps help this Ram defense.
I take that back, Kevin. They called the offsides on the Newton Rams, but number 27 for the Central Macon Chargers was definitely offsides. The Chargers are going to decline the penalty against the Rams. It's going to be touchdown Central Macon.
So Robert Cummings with the 4-yard run, and after the decline penalty, here with 10:19 left, Central Macon taking the lead on the Rams, 6-0. In to attempt the extra point, the man who we're used to seeing now in the kicking game, John Jones.
Didn't the Falcons used to have a punter a long, long time ago called John James, so just kind of reversal there.
He's close enough. Figures with a proximity of name, maybe the best will come with it.
Maybe they're related somehow.
Jones is on to attempt the extra point here and put that 7th point on the scoreboard, and it was blocked by the Rams. The snap and hold looked pretty good, but the block by Greg Benson, number 58, and that has got to impress a few of the scouts who are here.
Good job there by Greg Benson. Knowing he's tired, just gave up a touchdown, but was able to give a lot of effort there on the extra point. And that may come back and play a big factor in this ball game. But Greg Benson's got some of the biggest hands I've ever seen from a high school athlete. He's just a super kid, and I guarantee he'll be playing football on Saturday somewhere next year.
Well, we're playing football on Friday night. You're hearing it on Saturday here on WGFS. We'll be back with more as your score is 6-0. Central Macon Chargers lead the Newton Rams.
Back live here in Macon, Georgia, where the Central Macons have just gone on top of the Newton Rams 7-0. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
All right, Paul Dailey, thank you very much. The Rams going to receive the ball here for the second time. A 59-yard kick first time around off the big right foot of senior John Jones. He'll be kicking again from the 40 with Price and Johnson back to receive. This one bounces at the 25, bounces down to the 15 where Price takes it. Price looking to cut back upfield, has passed most of the defense and past the 20 to the 24-yard line. After about the 45-yard kick, a 9-yard return from Jonathan Price, and the Rams will set it up and try to put it in the end zone.
It's good to see Jonathan back out there. I think he just kind of got the wind knocked out of him earlier in the first quarter, but he's back out there and running pretty good, and he needs to get his ball in his hands. He's one of the very few athletes out here that doesn't have to go both ways, so he's rested up, and he needs to make sure he gets out there and use all of his abilities, and I'm sure he can.
It has been a very muggy night in Central Georgia, and of course that's got to hurt those two-way starters. And we may look for them to do a lot of resting, especially at halftime. First down, and absolutely no yardage as he's tripped up at the line of scrimmage is Jonathan Price. In fact, he may have even lost a yard on that play.
Derek Bohan, the inside linebacker for the Central Macon Chargers, was able to get in there and get penetration and trip Jonathan Price up. And that's one of the only ways that you're going to be able to stop Jonathan Price is right when he gets started, because once he gets in open field, he's one of the toughest people I've ever seen to bring down.
Well, the Rams have got to 76 yards before they can consider putting 6 points on the scoreboard and tying this affair. Central Macon, with the 4-yard run from Robert Cummings, have gone on top here. The pitch to Jonathan Price on second down, and Central Macon was there, 5 or 6 men on that side, so they read that play very well, and a loss on the play for Price.
A new tackle in there, trying to see for the Rams. Stalk. I'm trying to see the new tackle. I can't get his number, but I guarantee you the coach is trying to sub in some of the offensive linemen, the second stringers, to try to get some of the starters a rest. But whoever was in there missed the block on that particular play, and it hurt the Rams.
Third down and 14 yards for the Rams. They seem like they've been in this position for most of the first half. A lot of third down, long yardage situation. In fact, only once have they been as close as 3rd and 1, and they had a 4-yard loss on that play. Gilstrap going right side, time to throw, hits Price, but Price fumbles the ball. They're going to roll it incomplete. Price taking the ball at the 12-yard line, but it slipped out of his hands. and the officials calling that incomplete. So Gilstrap's second attempted pass, the first one intercepted, the second one here dropped by Price.
Yeah, the offensive line is just having a really tough time. They're not giving Kerry Gilstrap any time. They're not giving Jonathan Price any time to run. He's getting hit right at the line of scrimmage, and you know, the guys on the field during practice, they hate to do, you know, run after practice because that's the last thing they want to do. But this is where it pays. This is where it pays the price when you're in shape, and these guys look like they're really sucking a lot of wind.
Sonny King and the Rams falling on it there at Central's 49-yard line. We're going to be back. It is the Central Macon Chargers and our own Newton Rams. Not great news to report as of now. 8:37 left in your second quarter. It is 6-0 Chargers. Ram football here on WGFS AM 1430. And welcome back to Thompson Stadium. First down here for the Central Macon Chargers. They bust up the middle for about a yard or two. It's 6-0. We've got 8.5 minutes remaining. Welcome to WGFS's semi-kickoff of football coverage. We had the Eastside Eagles last night and the Newton Rams here this morning / afternoon. We're bringing it to you. I'm Kevin Holden. With me is Paul Dailey.
Seeing the coaching staff of the Newton Rams bringing in a lot of fresh people on the offense and defensive line and trying to get those guys a breather.
Second down and 8, and they're going to go to Snell, and Snell once again breaks right through that defensive front. Took him all the way to the 40-yard line to get him down, and a little pile-up around the 40.
The Rams were sitting there pointing downfield like it was their ball, but it didn't really see anything happen. Don't know who recovered.
Both times they've gone to him, he's had big game. Maybe we've just found out why.
Let me correct that. It's the Newton Rams 1st and 10 on their own 39-yard line.
First game, we've got a couple of adjustments made. We'll work on the pitch play this week.
We'll get better.
He's gone, isn't he? Gilstrap goes to Price. Price found a hole in the middle and past the 45 and almost to the 50-yard line. That play, I think, was originally designed for Price to run outside, but immediately found a great hole inside. That's that vision of the running back.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Kevin. Jonathan Price got excellent vision. He hits the hole quick, and as an offensive lineman, you got to appreciate a back that does that. It hits the hole real quick. A lot of tailbacks like to sit back there and wait till something happens, and sometimes it don't happen, and it take a big loss. But Jonathan Price usually hits the hole real quick, and if you just give him just a little bit of room, he's going to get right through there and pick up a lot of yards, just like he did on that play. Picked up 9 yards.
Paul, this next yard for the Rams may be the most crucial. They've yet to have a first down. They'd like to have their first one. I think they've got it. Katori Maddox past midfield, and the first down for the Newton Rams. That's a psychological hurdle. Once you get past that, much easier now to drive the ball downfield.
Good job there. Veer left. Kerry Gilstrap read the ball real well, gave to the dive man, Katori Maddox, and Kerry's doing a good job as a sophomore running that veer. He's got a lot of athletic ability, and I mean, it's got to be a nightmare for the defense to have to look at Katori Maddox on the dive play, look at Kerry Gilstrap as a quarterback. Then you have Jonathan Price as a pitch, and that's just a nightmare for a defense.
First down. First time we've had the chance to say that for the Rams at Central's 48-yard line. We're down to 6:47 remaining in quarter number 2. Kerry Gilstrap has attempted 2 passes, 1 complete, but unfortunately to the wrong man. He was for the Chargers. To the left side here, they go to Price. Price scattering, and this side he's still up. He's at the 40-yard line, has a little bit of running room at the 30. Check the flag at the 30. He's at the 20, at the 10, at the 5. Now there's a touchdown being called here in the end zone. However, back here at the 36-yard line, stop the celebration.
It's going to be a holding on the wide receiver. Sonny Casey was trying to get in front of one of the defensive back, the cornerbacks that was about to make a play on Jonathan Price. Jonathan Price just showing a lot of great athletic ability there, but Sonny Casey is going to get flagged for holding there. Just kind of got in the way and was able to just kind of grab him, and the referee was there right on the spot and going to make the call, so it's going to back up the Rams.
It's unfortunate. It happened to Central Macon in the first quarter, happened to the Rams here in the second quarter. A big run and a big play that could gain you momentum in this game is called back. Of course, the big touchdown pass for Central Macon called back, and you've got to be disappointed right now if you're on the Rams side.
Yeah, it's one of those really frustrating calls there. It really wasn't Sonny Cason's fault. He was just trying to avoid a clip or a holding and just kind of raised his arm to get out of the way, and his hand just kind of got in the face mask of the cornerback, and they called a face mask penalty against Sonny, and one of those penalties that it wasn't meant to do, just one of those things that happens, but it's going to back up the Rams. It's going to be first and about 14 yards on their own 47-yard line.
It was an 11-yard run from Price to the spot of the foul, and then the 15 yards on the penalty against Sonny Cason and the Rams. So first and 14 for Kerry Gilstrap, and they'll do it again to Price. And Price this time is tripped up in the backfield for a loss. And doesn't that always happen? After you break a big run like that and you have the psychological blow, immediately you have trouble with getting the offense going.
Well, Jonathan Price, we're going to see a lot of that all year long. He's got a lot of quick moves, and Central Macon, I don't think they're going to have anybody in the defensive backfield that's going to be able to bring him down. I think we just saw that on the last play, but Jonathan's got to be tired. I'm very surprised they went right back to him, but Robert Cummings, inside linebacker there for the Central Macon Chargers, was there to make the play.
Speaking of two-way starters, Cummings has had a lot of work on the offensive side of the ball and then the inside linebacker, so he's another man you figure they'll probably rest later in this game. They go to Price again on the left side, and again he is bumped and stuffed for a 3-yard loss, and they were right on top of him on the left side. They have had very little luck to him going to the left side.
Good job there by the inside linebacker, Derek Bohannon. He's been in on a couple of plays for a loss. All he's doing is stunning, and the offensive line is having a lot of trouble picking up that blitz. And he's a small guy, number 8, Derek Bohannon. He's really small, but he's just kind of squeezing through the offensive line and making big plays in the backfield.
10 rushes for Jonathan Price and a total of 7 yards. And in there, he's had rushes of 11 and 9 yards, and so there are a lot of negative yardage plays, which means that offensive line is having trouble doing its job. 3rd down from Newton's 41. You got a long way to go here. They're going to go this time to Katori Maddox. Maddox tried to cut outside, but was pursued and stopped, and yet another loss there at about the 40-yard line here. So after you have the touchdown, the called back touchdown run from Jonathan Price that would have been 48 yards, except it was called back, now you have 3 consecutive plays for a loss of yardage, and you can see little loss of confidence on the side of the Rams offense.
Well, yeah, Kevin, it's a loss of confidence, but then when you go on the sideline, you realize you scored against the Central Macon team, and you know that you can do it, so it can go either way, but Sonny Caison's going to be back to punt.
So Caison's punt gets away here. Once again, another good punt. So Caison has been impressive so far. It's this punt rolling inside the 20-yard line and down to the 19 where it's touched there for the Newton Rams by Quint Thomas. Central Macon will start from inside their 20, and we will be back. 4:17 remaining in the second quarter. Your score is 6-0. Central Macon's Chargers lead the Rams from Macon, Georgia. Back after this, it is Newton Ram football here on WGFS, AM 1430.
We're live back here in Macon, Georgia, playing football here in September. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Okay, Paul Dailey, thank you very much. It is 1st down from the 19-yard line here for the Chargers, and they go to Cummings. Cummings with some potentially big yardage. The Rams close to hole. What could have been something serious there. And outside the 25, he's finally brought down at the 26-yard line. And one of the Central Macon coaches on the sideline went crazy after that play.
One good thing to look out there, we look at the defense for the Newton Rams. Gary Brown's back out there. Josh Millwood had a really good play there, scraping off the linebacker position, was able to make a good tackle, but it's 9 yards down the field. So, as a coach, you're not pleased with that, but you're glad to see Josh Millwood get into the play. 2nd and 2 Chargers. If you stop them, you still have a chance for one sustained drive. Jesse Snell will go across and will have the 1st down. He'll be out beyond the 30. Brian Edwards making the play. Good job there by Brian Edwards, the defensive tackle, to just stand in his position, get a little penetration, was able to bring down the Central Macon runner just for a minor pickup, but it was able to get a 1st down.
6th time that the Chargers have gained a 1st down at the hands of this Newton Ram defense. The Rams themselves with only 1 1st down so far. Walker over center. Goes right side, fakes it, he's got it himself, looking for some room there, close to a 1st down. He's past the 40-yard line, and Walker, not a bad runner himself. He can read the field very well on that side.
Real good quarterback, very athletic, very agile, was able to get down the line. It was veer right, decided to keep the ball, not pitch it. I don't know who had contain on that side, but whoever did was not there and was able to let Stuart Walker pick up another 1st down.
So they're 5th of the quarter and 7th of the game in terms of 1st downs. We're less than 3 minutes to play here with the Chargers up by 6. Again, 1st down, the fake handoff, and Walker once again looking for running room. And out at the 48-yard line, he is brought down by the Ram defenders, and Central Macon continues with that positive yardage. Only twice in this game have the Rams been able to stuff the Charger backfield for negative yardage on a play.
And the Chargers aren't doing anything really fancy, Kevin. All they're doing is running veer right, veer left. The quarterbacks decided to keep the ball both times, and what's happening is the defensive ends are having contain on that, and Greg Benson and Nikita Weber both just trying to suck some air down. They're both tired of going both ways, but the Chargers having a lot of success off the veer.
And Walker to Cummings. Cummings had stumbled past one block and kept his legs moving, and he may have a first down. They are now in Newton Ram territory at about the 48-yard line.
It's going to bring up about a third down and about one. It may be close enough to measure. Yeah, the referee's going to take a measurement, but this is good in a sense where you give a chance to take some air, because the Central Macon, what they're doing is they're really quick off the ball. They're going in their huddle, they're getting right to the ball, and it's not allowing the Rams to get any air at all.
A minute 54 left, and you know what that means. Halftime is right around the corner, and you know what that means, of course, Big Dog's Picks. Any kind of preview?
Well, there's a couple of good games going on today, which should be Saturday. Actually, it's Friday night, but it'll be airing tomorrow. So a couple of really good games we'll be reviewing.
For the Central Macon Chargers, now in Newton Ram territory, they were just short of that first down, so they're at the Rams' 49-yard line. A 3rd and 1 being pursued as Walker. Walker's throw is up and incomplete, and credit the pressure there by the Newton Ram defense. They forced him to throw that ball a little off balance.
Good job there by the outside linebacker. Odell Dixon was able to penetrate and chase the quarterback down and make him rush the throw, and was able to get a hand on the ball, and it was a bad throw. So it's going to bring up 4th and about a half yard, and I'm sure the Central Macon Chargers are going to go for it here.
Minute 44 remaining in your second quarter of action. 6-0 on the 4-yard run from Robert Cummings. That was with 10:19 left in the second quarter. Rams have had a couple of chances. In fact, they even put the ball in the end zone, but they had that called back. Stuart Walker over center here with 1:44 left, and here come the penalty flags. And Paul, I'm looking at you knowing that there's another penalty about to come against the Newton Rams.
Yeah, whenever you have 4th and about an inch, the offense is going to try to make you jump off sides, and that's exactly what the Central Macon Chargers did there. They just changed the snap count a little bit, drew the interior defensive line of the Rams off the ball, and picks up a free first down without even having to get hit or anything. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Central Macon Chargers on their own 44-yard line.
The Chargers will call a timeout. We will keep it here with only a minute 44 left. That is 6 first downs in the quarter here for Central Macon unofficially. That's 8 in the game. And one thing we want to talk about that's been certainly a problem for the Newton Rams here is the penalties. 4 of them now for a total of 35 yards, and they seem to be in crucial situations. Price's run and this play here with the 4th and inches.
Yeah, they're coming in crucial situations, and all it is just concentration. Now, the one against Sonny Cason earlier in the ball game that was called back on the Jonathan Price's touchdown was kind of an inadvertent penalty, but they called it anyway. Anytime you get a hand around a face mask, a flag is going to go up. But this play here was simply a lack of concentration. The defensive line is just tired. The quarterbacks get in a rhythm of doing the same cadence every time, and the defense knows that, but you got to, the offense has an advantage there because they know the snap count and the defense don't, and sometimes you just have a lack of concentration, and good job there by the coaching staff for the Central Macon to draw Newton off.
This is the 7th first down play of the game for the Chargers. Note that 5 of the first 6 have gone to Cummings. Might we see something here for the future? No, they did not go to Cummings. They're looking to pass here and hit once and sacked behind midfield is Stuart Walker. In on the play, Brian Edwards and Nikita Webb spinning the quarterback around, not giving him a chance to throw, chasing him from the front.
Good job there by the interior 2 tackles for the defensive line for the Rams. Habeas White and also Brian Edwards, both of them was there on the sack, but there was a lot of pressure from the ends. Nikita Webb did a really good job, and Odell Dixon, number 35, was able to get in there too. And Odell's changed numbers on me. He was number 84, but that jersey's been retired of the Minnesota Vikings, Jake Reed.
So he had to make the switch, and I'm sure glad to do it. 2nd down, left side, thinking about the pass, and sacked once again is Walker. Greg Benson coming after him this time, and Walker had a lot of room and a lot of time to throw, but obviously didn't have a man downfield. So credit your corners here and your linebackers with covering the receivers.
Good job there by the Rams to get penetration. Also, like you said, Kevin, the defensive secondary for the Rams were doing a good job of coverage. But also, Central Macon's quarterback did a good job there of not throwing the ball downfield inadvertently. Just went ahead and took the sack, and Greg Benson's showing that he's got a lot of speed. Even though he's about 265, 270 pounds, still has the agility to go down and tackle a 140, 150-pound quarterback. And Greg's going both ways, so a lot of athletic ability are shown on that play.
Talking about a 3rd and 24 situation for the Central Macon Chargers from their own 42-yard line. Only 54.7 seconds remaining. They got the scoreboard here with the tenths of seconds. We're at a brand new stadium. They're playing their first game here at Thompson Stadium. And from what I understand, it's the site of a previous stadium that was torn down. And as part of a revitalization here for the Macon football programs, they built a new one here.
Oh, it's a beautiful stadium. It's really all you need in 3A or Quad A football. You got stands on the other side, stands on this side, a little press box. Great. The field is in excellent condition. Good job. Great field.
For 3rd down, they go to Cummings. Cummings was tripped up at the 42-yard line and tackled finally at the 45-yard line. Great stop there as Josh Millwood tripped up Cummings and will force Central Macon into a rough position here with 45 seconds left, 4th down, and a long distance to go.
One of the things the player for Central Macon, the last thing he wanted to do was to get out of bounds, but that's what he did to stop the clock. But the Rams are going to take a timeout anyway to get their punting team on the field, get Gary Brown deep, and maybe something make an athlete do something here. And Gary Brown's definitely the athlete to do it.
Once again, we will keep it here. 45 seconds remaining. 6-0 your score. This drive from Central Macon started at their own 19 and will finish, we suspect, here with the punt at the 46. It's a 27-yard drive. It took a total of 9 plays and ate a lot of time off the clock, and I think that'll hurt the Rams in their attempt to score here with what may be only, 35, 40 seconds left.
Yeah, what the Rams are going to have to do is get the ball. Hopefully Gary Brown can get some return yardage and get out of bounds and maybe get Kerry Gilstrap to throw the ball down the field just a few times. But Gary Brown has the ability to run this one all the way back.
He has game-breaking and play-breaking ability, and wouldn't you love to see it right now? John Jones taking the punt. There it goes. It's a long kick. Brown is back, set to receive it, takes it at the 16-yard line. He's at the 20, and we have got a couple of whistles at around the 17. Knee must have gone down there.
Yeah, he actually slipped a little bit on his cut, and his knee went down, and he looked like he had a really good return there. The wall was set up on the left side over there, and he looked like he had a lot of running room, just an inadvertent slip, and the ball is going to be down on their own 17. So this is one of the things where you don't really want to do something stupid by throwing interception and allowing Central Macon to score. So look for Coach Brassfield maybe just to run a couple of veers to run out the clock.
We may also see the Rams go to Price a couple of times just to see what he can break. But, of course, as you mentioned, with only 36 seconds left and only down by 6, you'd hate to do something dumb and be down by 13 or more. Gilstrap over center with only 36.1 seconds remaining. Yes, we're exact here. Gilstrap right up the middle, and there was no one around him. He breaks past the 25 to the 30 and out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Gilstrap was just going to go straight forward and no one there to block it.
Yeah, all he was trying to do there was run out the clock, but Kerry Gilstrap just kind of went right over his center, Josh Gill, and realized he had a lot of running room. And one of the key things there, Kevin, is he had the knowledge to get out of bounds, and that's something you don't see in a sophomore. Good job by Kerry. Not only is he a great athlete, he's also a good thinker, too.
It's amazing to think that on a play like that, the Rams would get what is only their second first down of this half. But they get it nonetheless, and they'll have 1st and 10 from their own 31. We have 29.3 seconds remaining.
This gives you a little bit more breathing room if you want to try a pass or two. You're not back there on the 17. Instead, you're up here on about the 31-yard line. So look for the Rams maybe to try a pass or two to see what they can do.
A little different situation from here. In fact, Gilstrap, with the 2 backs, has 2 wide receivers out left. We'll see what he's going to do. Drops back. And the dump pass out to his back, Jonathan Price. Price tried to cut back upfield. Now he will get out of bounds, and wisely so, at around the 35-yard line. They knocked about 9 seconds off the clock, but the completed pass is the first of Kerry Gilstrap's career.
And it'll be the first of a lot because he's a great thrower, has a lot of ability, also has a lot of poise back there. But Jonathan Price had nothing on the inside and decided just to take it out of bounds. He kind of got punished there on the sideline too, but it's going to bring up a second and about 6 yards to go with only 20 seconds left.
Rams have struggled some on offense, trying to establish an offensive rhythm on a muggy night here in Central Georgia, Thompson Stadium in Macon. Once again, 2 wide receivers left side. Gilstrap They go to Price. Price found some nice room in a block, and he's up, and he's at the 45-yard line. Still up. He's at the 50, and down there, and the Rams will quickly need to call something as we're at midfield, and the officials will call for the first down, and that, of course, will stop the clock with 9.8 seconds left. Nice run from Price.
Great run there by Price. Nothing but athletic ability there. Simply a draw play, and Jonathan took it straight up the middle. I think the Central Macon Chargers were looking for another pass. Great call plan there by Joe Brassfield. But Jonathan, one of the things he should have done there was go ahead and get out of bounds. He had 3 or 4 Central Macon Chargers coming straight at him and decided to try to make a move and went to the interior part of the field and was unable to get out of bounds. So the Rams are going to take their last time out.
You know, Paul, maybe we figured out what to do with this Ram offense. Tell them there's a minute left in the half each time around. They seem to do much better when they have just a little bit of time on their hands.
Well, Coach Brassfield's worked real hard all camp long and all season long, the short season that it is, hurry-up offense, and the Rams are really good at it. And that's usually when they play their best offense. So the only thing that is, it requires you to get up on the ball and it doesn't allow you to get a lot of a breather. So it's one of the things you don't really want to do with your two-way starters, but it looks pretty good right now.
9.8 seconds left, and the Rams have got to go a long territory in a short time. Gilstrap rolling around to the outside, and he is going to get out of bounds in time with 2.5 seconds left. So the Rams will be able to get probably one more playoff from scrimmage. He got out of bounds, but for a loss of a couple of yards. But once again, a heads-up play from Gilstrap, making sure that he still had a little bit of time for something.
Yeah, and Kerry did a good job of rolling around and rolling out to the left. Central Macon did a good job of covering the pass. Ray Bright was able to bring Kerry out of bounds on about the 48-yard line. So we have time for one more play, so look for the Rams to put it up deep.
Rams have only run one play this half from Central Territory, with the exception of the one drive they had after the fumble. One more play, and this one is going to be to Jonathan Price. The half marker sounds as Price is tackled at the Central 48-yard line. It's a 4-yard gain, but the Rams don't put anything across, and they are held scoreless here in the first half. It is 6-0. Central Macon Chargers lead the Newton Rams, and we've hit halftime, which means a plethora of specials here on WGFS AM 1430. You've got the Big Dogs picks coming up. You've got a little bit of a halftime interview with that Bridges guy. Yeah, Chris Bridges from the Covington News. Also, we will speak with future Newton Ram broadcasting superstar Mark Birch about the first half and much more. It's the halftime show. Newton Ram football. Rams down 6-0 here from Macon, Georgia. We'll try to change the fortunes and talk about more next here on WGFS AM 1430. And welcome back to the Newton Ram Tailgate Show. That extremely loud noise that you hear is the Blue Rambler Marching Band, and they are in the process of marching off the field. Kevin Holden bringing you a little more of the halftime show. Oh yes, Paul Dailey is functioning in his other duty, that's the coaching duty. So as we have that happen, we're going to speak to the man who in 2 weeks will take the microphone as a color man for the first time. But he's out here for the first time scouting the Newton Rams and watching them here in the first half. Mark Birch will join us in about 2 weeks. Mark, first of all, let's talk a little about the Ram offense. Having some trouble here in the first half getting it going. I'm sure the sophomore quarterback has a lot to do with that. But you've got a lot of players playing both ways, and I think both of those may be factors. What else might you see as factors here?
Well, they turned on the offense a little bit too late in the first half. They're going to have to try and keep it going in the second half, but it's going to be tough because they're playing a lot of Iron Man football.
Now, as far as the Central Macon Chargers are concerned, offensively they haven't been that great either, but they've been able to make the one charge downfield. Penalties have been a big factor for both teams here.
Yeah, they had a really good offense in the first half. The Newton defense is covering their passers pretty well and denying them a lot of passes. Their running game has gotten established pretty well in the first half, but if they keep it going in the second half, it's going to be tough for Newton to catch them, I think.
A lot nicer to be in the press box than it is to be out there in the stands. It's a little different view of the game, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
Well, Mark will join us in 2 weeks, as I mentioned, when we're at Clark Central High School, and he will be bringing us the color commentary starting then and for the entire rest of the season. And that extremely loud noise is the Central High School Marching Band taking the field. Mark, thanks for being with us. We'll talk with you a little longer next week, and then, of course, your big debut. Be ready.
All right, September 20th, I'll be turning 18, my big debut.
That's Mark Birch, and we'll look forward to hearing from him. And now we move from a man making his first football appearance to a man who has made uncountable football appearances and gets the chance to make yet another one here in the halftime show on WGFS. Chris Bridges. Now, Chris, you and I haven't had a chance to talk that much at halftime. Usually it's Paul Dailey's job to conduct this interview type thing at halftime, but of course he's busy coaching his players. What do you think Paul Dailey's saying to those guys right now?
Well, knowing Paul and the way he gets fired up about football, I can kind of imagine what he's saying to the players right now. I'm sure he's giving them a good pep talk, as the whole coaching staff is at this point. Down 6-0, and might be a little bit of a need for concern as far as the offense goes in the first half.
Tell us what you think, first of all, is the main concern for that offense. What will they be working on the most in the second half and for the next week?
Well, it seemed as if Central was prepared for Newton's running attack. It looked like they keyed in on Price. I know when I talked with their coach earlier in the week, he was talking about what a great back Jonathan Price was. So I knew then that they were going to prepare for him, and they have. They basically have shut him down. His best run came on what would have been a 48-yard touchdown run that was called back for, I believe it was a face mask, which is kind of unusual to see that on offense. But to me, Price is at his best when they can pitch it to him and he can get around the outside and use his speed and his cutting ability. That's what he was able to score on, even though it was called back. And I don't think Newton needs to go away from him in the second half because he is their main offensive weapon. Kerry Gilstrap also has the ability, I think, to run the option well. Maybe they can go to that a little bit more in the second half.
And as far as the defensive side is concerned, can't blame the defense very much at all. They've had to be on the field an awful lot as the Rams had a lot of 3-and-out series in the first quarter. And the Rams defense pretty well held their own against Central Macon's offense. Would you look for more of the same in the second half?
I think so. Newton's solid on defense. Big Greg Benson had a standout first half. I know he had a couple sacks. He recovered a fumble. But at one point you could tell he was getting a little winded out there. I think he's playing both ways. He's also turning around and going on the offensive line. But Newton's tough on defense. Gary Brown's a tough player in the secondary, and he hit somebody so hard out there one time he hurt himself. So that just kind of shows you what type of a hard-hitting defense Newton has. I don't expect Central to explode for a lot more points in the second half. Maybe if Newton can cause another turnover and shorten the field and maybe get a 20 or a 30 or 35-yard drive, should be able to get it in there, I think.
Now, we've discussed the high school thing, and from what I understand, because I was away from the microphone a lot when you and Paul talked, you have a little college and professional stuff to discuss, so tell us your thoughts about this weekend. We'll hear Big Dog's picks in a few minutes, but I want to know Chris Bridges' picks for this weekend.
Well, I admit I haven't really looked at the stat sheet that much this weekend with Georgia being off. I know Georgia Tech is playing this weekend, and they should handle NC State, I would think. As far as the pro ranks go, that was pretty much a pathetic performance by the Atlanta Falcons last week, but I am pleased to say that my San Diego Chargers are 1-0 and looking to go 2-0 this week against Cincinnati.
You think that will continue? You think the Chargers can go to 2-0?
I think so. The Atlanta Falcons made a mistake, in my opinion, when they didn't keep Bobby Ross in Atlanta as their coach when they fired Jerry Glanville a few years back. He expressed interest in that job, but for whatever reason, and given the Atlanta Falcons, I'm not surprised, didn't really show any interest in bringing Bobby Ross back here. Which would have been the best thing for the team, in my opinion. Either that or get Steve Spurrier up here from Florida. But really not much to cheer for if you're a Falcon fan. I don't think this year that game last Sunday really kind of proved what I've been saying all summer.
It's a tough one to swallow, but let's hope we don't have a tough one to swallow here at Thompson Stadium in Macon. Chris, we'll look forward to your column about the Newton Rams, and of course you can catch full coverage of the Newton Rams and Eastside Eagles in the Covington News. You guys continue your long-standing tradition of a fine job covering the local high school sports. Please continue it. We're going to try our best to continue ours, given the circumstances. Airtime is sometimes a little difficult to divide between two schools. So you guys have fun this year, and we are glad to have you guys back for another year. You and I will have to get accustomed to this halftime interview process.
Well, I think we did fine here tonight. I wanted to let everybody know, too, that if they don't have any plans on Sunday, Jake Reed, a former Newton County standout player, is going to be up in the Georgia Dome with the Minnesota Vikings when they play the Atlanta Falcons. So it'd be a chance to kind of see the local talent that's made it all the way to the highest level.
Chris, thanks, and bring out our good luck charms in the second half if you would.
I'll pull them out. Thanks.
Chris Bridges of the Covington News. You also heard from Mark Birch, our number 3 man for the time being and soon to be number 2 man on Newton Ram football coverage. When we come back, yes, folks, you've been waiting for it for 9.5 months. You've been lying in anticipation. You haven't been able to sleep at night. You can rest easy. Big Dog's Picks coming up next on WGFS AM 1430. Also, we'll be back with some stats of the first half and a little bit of bantering on WGFS AM 1430. Welcome back to Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia, as we begin the second half. We'll give you first half stats, I guess, as we go along, as we've been caught somewhat by surprise. Paul Dailey, Kevin Holden bringing it to you. I will start the play-by-play here for the second half as the first kickoff for the Newton Rams. Joseph Cox kicks it down to the 5-yard line, a 55-yard kick taken there by number 32, Jesse Snell, and Snell out to about the 25-yard line. Jesse Snell for the Central Macon Chargers, the 20-yard return after the 55-yard kick. And Central Macon starts here in the second half. And Paul, talking to the coaches and seeing the players at halftime, what do you think?
Well, the players are definitely tired, Kevin. But what I told them was when they land in the bed in the morning, they're going to know. When they're laying in their bed in the morning, they're going to know that they gave 110%, and that's what we got across to them. Joe Brassfield's really concerned about the offense. The defense is playing pretty well.
Here we go with Walker once again over center to start the second half, and Walker on the first play gives to a man, Robert Cummings, who's got a huge hole and lots of room. He's past midfield, he's down to the 40-yard line, and finally brought down there. Gary Brown, Reek Johnson, among others, chasing him all the way down, but Cummings from scrimmage just absolutely busted a hole and gained about 33 yards there.
Nothing but a straight dive to the left side. One of the things the Rams stopped in the first half was the dive play. They really had a lot of problems with the veer quarterback keep. One thing they didn't have problems with was straight dive, but they had a big problem with it then.
We'll give you some first half stats in just a moment. They appear to have disappeared. There they are right there. On first down, Central Macon across the middle for a couple of yards, but not very much. And the Rams already having to make defensive adjustments here.
One of the crucial things in this ball game is this first series right here. If you let Central Macon get in there and score, it does a lot to your self-esteem, and it doesn't allow you to think clearly about the rest of the game. You know, the guys realize that they're only 6 points down, one touchdown, they can go ahead, and the guys are mentally in this ball game. That's good to see.
Second down from the 38. Cummings 45 yards in the first half. Add some more to that. Ball is on the ground. It was recovered from Tony Arnold, the wingback. Actually, Arnold recovered from Stuart Walker, who fumbled the ball at about the 38-yard line. Walker was hit, and a credit Tony Arnold with a nice play there, but now Central Macon in trouble as they're 3rd and 10.
One of the adjustments we did make at halftime, Kevin, was the defensive ends had dive man on the veer, and they stopped it the whole first half. What we've done is we had a hard time stopping the quarterback keeper. So what we're doing now is let the defensive ends just take the quarterback, and we saw a great effort right there by Nikita Webb sacking him for a loss.
So we're down to 3rd and 10 now, maybe 3rd and 11 from Newton's 42-yard line. They're looking to pass. A couple of open men on this side, and intercepted by the Newton Rams at the 30-yard line, down to the 45, and one hard hit and out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Josh Millwood, the interception. You heard about Millwood on the baseball playing field. Now, hear of Millwood on the gridiron with the interception.
Oh, he's a tough competitor. He was one of the ones, the seniors at halftime, that was sitting there just saying, come on, guys, there's only 6 points down. He is definitely stepping up as one of the team leaders, and what better to reward himself than an interception here early in the third quarter to turn this game around.
An interception like that, in a situation like this, if the Rams can come down and at least put something on the scoreboard, even a field goal, would give a great boost to both the offense and just basically everyone on the Newton Rams sideline after that interception. That's one of those momentum-turning plays. Gilstrap with a pass that's batted and incomplete. Robert Cummings got jumped up and took a bat at that ball as Gilstrap was looking for someone on the left side.
So the coaching staff is kind of screaming at Carey. He threw to the wrong receiver there. They had a hot pass, which is just a 3-yard step back. What Carey just does is take the snap, drop 3 yards back, and throw quickly to Roderick Henderson. But Carey decided to throw it out to Bree Johnson, and it was incomplete.
2nd and 10 here as we have begun action in the second quarter. Jonathan Price, the Rams' leading rusher in the first half, 12 carries, only 27 yards. They go to Price here, and he got tripped up at the original line of scrimmage and is down at the 47-yard line. The other rushers for the Newton Rams, Katori Maddox, 6 carries, 21 yards, and Kerry Gilstrap, 6 carries, -4 yards, tells you a little bit about what has happened with the offensive line. And the passing game, it's Gilstrap, 1 out of 3 for 3 yards and an interception.
Yeah, not a real good job there, but Kerry never really had any time to set up and pass. He'll do a lot better here in the second half if he gets some time, and the offense spent a lot of time at halftime making adjustments. Hopefully we can see it here in the second half.
The Rams in their brand new helmets this year look a lot like the Rams of St. Louis. Gilstrap fakes, is rushing back, and the defense bid for it for a moment. It's out and incomplete. Overthrew Katori Maddox, but he could have had a first down and perhaps quite a bit more. but Gilstrap with the nice fake as the Central Macon defense fell for that.
Oh, Carey did everything right there. Good play fake, but just overthrew number 20. Katori Maddox. I'm trying to think. I think I keep get Katori and Roderick Henderson mixed up, but Katori Maddox was wide open there. Would have picked up at least about 30 or 40 yards, but Carey just did one thing wrong, just overthrew him.
What I figured was you were figuring 20 was Cordell Benton, the old Newton Ram running back. Sonny Kaysen with another punt, and this one is up and caught with a fair catch at the 25-yard line. That is a 28-yard punt from Kaysen. Central starting fairly deep in its own territory, and what could have been a tremendous drive there for the Rams in a couple of different ways ends up thwarted with no gain whatsoever.
Well, you take a breath of relief because after the big game there by 31, Robert coming straight up the middle, you get an interception. Now you're winning the battle of field position, but then again you look at the scoreboard and you're down by 6, so the Rams have definitely got to put some points on the board here early in the third quarter.
Walker pitches out to Cummings. Cummings literally dragged down by the jersey by Greg Benson, who had him by the shirt tail and threw him back to the 17-yard line. Now, of course, they'll spot the ball up at the 20, but Robert Cummings says hello to Greg Benson.
Well, I talked to Greg earlier, and I asked him what he'd like to do after college, and he said he was really interested in the WWF, wrestling, whatever it's called, but he showed a couple of skills there by a little throw-down, takedown, but he's a great athlete. He's doing a good job at defensive end.
How many points you get for that in high school wrestling?
I think about 4.
Tell you what, it's a nice move there. He should consider something with this fumble at the 20-yard line on second down. Stuart Walker. Now, I thought I just saw a yellow flag go into the huddle. We will see, first of all, who has the football, and second, if I really did see a yellow flag or if I'm just seeing yellow.
I think you're seeing things, Kevin. There's no flag on the play, but there was a lot of bodies down there. Maybe somebody has a yellow towel on, but Stuart Walker fumbled the ball. A big loss on the play. Good penetration there by the defensive line. It's going to bring up about 3rd and 16.
So the defense once again driving back Central Macon after that 34-yard gain. Since then, Central Macon held to -7 yards. So the defense doing its job. Walker once again over center. Pitches this side, or the opposite side rather, to Jesse Snell. And Snell was up for quite a while and out past the 25-yard line of about a 7-yard gain as he is tackled at the 26. Still well short of the first down, though. And you know what that means? Gary Brown, get back, perhaps a game breaker here.
Yeah, we was talking at halftime about the play where Gary Brown, they said that his knee went on the ground, and I asked him what happened. He says that he just lost his footing, but his knee never hit the ground, and one of the referees agreed with him, but the referee who blew his whistle did not agree, so kind of a busted play by the referees there, but maybe Gary Brown can redeem himself here and bring one back.
John Jones, the senior. And we have a flag already before the punt ever goes off. It's a spiraling kick and a nice one taken at the 32 by Brown. He is out to the 40, gets some good blocking. He's at the 50, at the 45, at the 40, cutting upfield. He's at the 30, one man to beat, and gets past the block. 10-5, touchdown Rams, maybe. Check the yellow flag at the 25-yard line. If it's against Central Macon, we're tied at 6. If it's against the Rams, another heartbreaker perhaps. Did we call this, Paul Dailey? A game-breaking play, perhaps, from Gary Brown. Let's check the flag.
I think it's going to be offsides against the Central Macon. Of course, that will be declined. And big play there by Gary Brown and the Newton punt return team. It's going to be 6 points for the Rams.
Tremendous play from Gary Brown, catching it at his own 32-yard line. That punt, a total of 32 yards, and the run back, 68 for the touchdown for Gary Brown and the Newton Rams with 7:01 remaining here in quarter number 3. So the Rams can take the lead here with the extra point.
Joseph Cox is the extra point and field goal kicker, a linebacker. Hadn't had a whole lot of practice this, but he's about the only one that we can depend on. Hopefully he'll do a good job here.
Point after attempt from the left footer, Joseph Cox. And it's a bad snap, and Cox is not going to get the chance to attempt the extra point as the Rams tackled there. The holder brought down at the 15-yard line. The holder for the Rams, Quinn Thomas, was tackled there. It was a bad snap and fumbled by Thomas, so the Rams no good on this point after attempt. We are tied at 6, third quarter, 7:01 remaining. We've got what a friend of mine one time called a barn burner here at Thompson Stadium in Macon. I won't say who, but I will say that we'll be back after this on WGFS AM 1430.
Back here at Central Macon at Thompson Stadium, the Newton Rams just put a touchdown on the board. 6-6. Extra point was no good. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
End over end kick from Joseph Cox to start this one off, taken at the 25 by the Central Macon Chargers and tackled by the Rams at the 30-yard line. Pardon me, that's Larry Smith taking it at the 20 and out to the 30-yard line. About a 40-yard kick and a 10-yard return.
Good job there by the coverage team. A little soft, but those guys are out there, they're tired. A lot of the guys who are on the kickoff team are definitely the both-way players, but Gary Brown, that couple plays earlier on that punt return, showed what kind of athlete he really is. And Gary Brown is definitely a Friday night player. He doesn't really enjoy practicing, but he loves to play on Friday nights, and he just showed why he's out there and why he's probably the best athlete on the field.
6 minutes, 54 seconds remaining in the third quarter. We're now tied at 6 thanks to Gary Brown and a 68-yard return on a punt. This may be the way that the Rams score a lot of points this year. They'll try to stop Stuart Walker and the offense here. They go to Cummings around the outside, and he has a great block and some room. That's a first down, and he is finally tackled out past midfield in Newton Ram territory, so about a 20-yard gain from Robert Cummings. And Cummings on first down is a dangerous weapon.
And they're not doing anything surprising. All they're doing is running the veer right, veer left. They're giving it to the dive man. That sometimes they'll pitch it, sometimes the quarterback will keep it. But what they did then was they decided to pitch it, and Stuart Walker did a good job of reading it there. And Robert Cummings was able to pick up a big gain. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Central Macon Chargers on the Rams 46.
This time they go to Cummings on this side, and there's a penalty flag thrown. Cummings is cutting back across, and he's got all kinds of room to run. Now, once again, we saw the penalty flag. Cummings goes across. It would be a touchdown for the Central Macon Chargers, but Paul, doesn't it seem like every time somebody crosses the end zone, we have one of those yellow things on the field, and I think we've had it happen to us yet again.
Yeah, there was a holding penalty against Nikita Webb. Nikita Webb was about to make a play, and one of the running backs for Central Macon just grabbed him and brought him down, and allowed Robert Cummings to go all the way down untouched, but that one's going to come back.
The flag was thrown at the 48-yard line of the Rams, and Robert Cummings with what would have been a 47-yard touchdown run. How many times have we seen that tonight? Price with the big run that was called back here. Cummings with the big run called back. We thought Gary Brown's punt return might be called back. There was a flag there. That one's going to be called way back, as a matter of fact. It started at Newton's 47 before the play ever began, and now the ball is sitting at Central's 36-yard line. That's a huge penalty.
What happened, one of the wide receivers for Central Macon, I thought it was a running back, but the wide receiver did a little crackback block on Nikita Webb and hit him in his back, and that is definitely against the rules of high school, Georgia high school rules, and that brought that all the way back.
So they lost actually 20 yards on that play. Here the handoff or the pitch out to number 12 and out beyond the 40-yard line to the 44-yard line. Ray Presley getting his first action of the night as a running back, and he gained some yardage, but a country mile away from that first down.
Yeah, good play there. They're having a lot of success on the dive to the weak side, which is Nikita Webb's side. And what happened, he's getting pinned in. He's not getting a lot of help from his linebacker scraping off, and one of the things we did tell him at halftime is the linebackers got to step up and play here in the second half.
Third down, Central's 43, and the first down marker stands inside Newton's 40. For a moment, a little bit of a fumble there by Walker, and he just basically sat on the ball as a couple of folks on top of him at the 45-yard line. So the Ram defense, once again, starting by giving up the long run, but then sucking it up after that, getting impressive.
What's happening is Nikita Webb did a great job there. He has been changed. At halftime, we made the defensive ends take the quarterback at all times, and Nikita Webb has stopped a couple of big potential runs there by just sitting there grabbing the quarterback and then turning them inside, and that's all that is called contain. And Nikita and also Greg Benson are doing a good job at it.
We have 5:13 left in quarter number 3. Once again, tied at 6. Both teams have scored a touchdown but missed on their extra point attempts. And fourth down, they're looking to go for it, and Walker sacked inside the 40-yard line. The job there was Habeas White. Habeas White, nice play as he got after Stuart Walker.
Excellent penetration there by Habeas White. One of the things I told him at halftime, I said, son, you've got to go both ways. You're one of the best athletes out there. You're a lot of man, because Habeas is weighing about 250 now, but he did a great job of penetrating, sacking the quarterback.
First down for the Newton Rams at Central's 40-yard line, and all of a sudden, a little momentum, a little different look also from the Rams here. And the punt goes away and down to the 16-yard line. Gary Brown takes it. He's at the 15, being pursued, but gets around the block. Still up at the 15. Now he's finally brought down. 6 or 7 Chargers after him. I was one play behind myself there. That was the punt, and a long one, and not much return from Gary Brown.
Yeah, Gary just decided to pick the ball up late there, and we tried to run it back to the wide side of the field and was unable to do that. Central Macon did a good job of pursuing the ball. And Gary Brown is definitely, he's real tired, especially after that touchdown that was called back on Central Macon. He chased the guy all the way to the end zone. But Gary Brown is definitely a tired puppy at this point.
So let's try this one more time. Rams first down at their own 15-yard line. 4:16 left in quarter number 3. Kerry Gilstrap and the Rams with 85 yards of ground to cover. And they go on first down to Price, and Price is past a hole and got past it quick, up to the 20 and down at the 21.
That was Katori Maddox actually on a dive play there, Kevin. Both of them are wearing 2s in their number. Jonathan Price is 2, Katori's 20, but Katori took the straight dive on the left side. Good blocking up front by Butch Reed, who's in there for Brian Edwards. Actually, Butch is in there for Greg Benson. Butch did a good job of blocking. And also a couple of new fresh faces in there on the offensive line.
Second down and 5. And on this down, they give once again to Katori Maddox. I think I got it right this time. We're kind of shielded in our view of the far side of the field. Maddox, though, with a gain of 2 or 3 yards and slowly driving upfield with Katori Maddox. 3:30 left in this quarter.
That's what the Rams need, is get a good drive established, maybe get them a little confidence. But also you have a couple of second-string offensive linemen in there. Stargell Penn's in there. Also Butch Reed's in there. So it's giving Greg Benson and a couple of other guys a big rest.
Got a question about Stargell Penn in just a moment. Gilstrap on third down. He goes to Price. There's the hanky. There's another hanky. Price with no gain. We'll watch those flags. And while they're doing this, let me ask you about Stargell Penn. Stargell Penn is number 74 for the Rams. Now, he's a junior. You can assume from that he's 17 years old. This being 1996, that means he was born in 79, the year that the Pittsburgh Pirates won the World Series, and this guy named Willie Stargell for the Pirates was quite a star. You think there's a connection there?
Well, you know, their big saying back then in 1979 was, "We are family." So maybe Stargell Penn's family decided to call Stargell. So, but one of the things there on that play, the Rams are going to be called back for holding, and guess who was guilty on the holding there?
Not the person we were speaking about, was it?
It sure was.
Oh, goodness. We try to say...
Maybe that's a jinx we shouldn't do anymore.
Okay, no more mentions of any 79 Pirates or anything like that. We won't be making these spare references because obviously we're doing something bad to the defensive replacements, the offensive replacements along the front here for the Rams. A 10-yard penalty after the 3-yard loss from Jonathan Price, and we're all the way back to the 10-yard line now.
Yeah, it's going to bring up a long third and about 14 or 15 yards. Kind of anxious to see what the Rams will do here.
Gilstrap, with a couple of wideouts on the right side this time, is rolling to the right side and up there and over both of his receivers, both Sonny Kaysen and Lumbricus Johnson, Bree Johnson that is, overthrew both the receivers, and now with fourth and a lot of yardage and pinned deep in their own territory, Rams could be in trouble here.
Yeah, one thing that we have done good tonight is Sonny Kaysen's got away a couple of good punts, but he's got a couple of good punts away without any pressure. But sitting here down deep in your own territory on the 10-yard line, I guarantee you Central Macon's going to bring a rush on, so this may be exciting.
So here it comes, and Sonny Kaysen has had the chance to get away some good ones, as you'd mentioned, but this one probably the most important of the bunch. Now, we're going to be back as a timeout has been called. Newton Ram football right here on WGFS AM 1430.
Back live here in Macon, Georgia, where the Rams have tied this ball game up 6-6. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Paul Dailey, thank you very much. Sonny Kaysen is on the punt, and they are going to rush him. He did get the punt off, and it's going to take a bounce at the 35, and the Rams catch a break. It rolls outside the 40 to the 42-yard line. So, take that breath of relief there as he gets the punt away.
Yeah, good job there by Sonny Kaysen. He kind of sped up his delivery of the punt there. We had a little bit of trouble with practice with that whenever he had some pressure, and luckily he hadn't had any pressure all night, but he did definitely have pressure there deep in his own end zone, but did a great job, and he is a senior. He showed a lot of poise by getting that ball off and got it out to about the 43-yard line. So the Rams defense are back out there on the field, and they've been on the field a little bit too much here in the second half.
First down for Central Macon. Newton's territory at the 42. 2:23 left, and the clock is moving, and they go on first down to Cummings, who has been their go-to guy. But this time around, Roderick Henderson lays him out for a loss, and that's going to be big because, as you can see, Cummings, as they go to him on first down, 34 yards, 21 yards. He's had some big gains on first down.
Yeah, they're running the same play every first down, Kevin. That's a great observation by you. All they're doing is quick pitching to Robert Cummings, and he's done a great job so far in the second half of picking up yardage. But Roderick Henderson was right there on the play, and the coaches have made good adjustments there with the outside linebackers. And he came up with a big play. Now it's going to be second down and about 15 for the Central Macon Chargers.
Next thing you know, they'll be calling me away to be in the coaching box, and Mark Birch will be left with this thing. Rolling out on second down and up, and almost intercepted, incomplete. We've got a flag. The intended receiver was Arnold, and climbing right up his back was Bree Johnson. I think that that'll probably be the source of what this flag is.
Yeah, Bree got there just a tad too early. Definitely a good call by the referee there. Bree got there a little early, a little upset with the call, but Bree is a very aggressive ball player. He loves to hit people. Just got there a little bit too early on that play.
So in the scorebook, that will go as the call against Bree Johnson. So not necessarily a complete pass, but you will see some penalty yardage marked off in favor of the Chargers and against the Rams.
Coach Shepard's really upset there on the sideline. I don't know if he saw something else, but over here was clearly pass interference. But Coach Shepard is definitely upset. He is the defensive coordinator. He's upset. And here goes the Central Macon Chargers marching right down the field again, courtesy of penalties from the Rams.
Rams already with a pair of penalties here for 25 yards. And another first down play is here at the Ram 32-yard line. Walker over center, fakes the give, actually handed that one off inside the 30-yard line to the 28-yard line. Rams didn't bite for the fake, which is good because your play-by-play announcer did.
Good job there by Joseph Cox playing inside linebacker, was able to step up and meet the play head on. Still picked up about 4 yards, but Joseph Cox is showing that he's here to play in the second half, and Nikita Webb is still doing a great job of taking that quarterback. He's taking the quarterback out of every play. 1:09 remaining in the third quarter, of course, so once that third quarter finishes, they'll have to march right down the field. If Central Macon hasn't scored by that point, then it'll be a long way to march, if nothing else. They're going to go to Cummings, and Cummings has some big room, and he is inside the 20 and down to the 16-yard line. Less than a minute left to play, but a first down and close to the goal line here. Good. The play before, Joseph Cox did a good job of filling the hole there, but that play, he just got blown out of there, and Coach Shepard's really upset with him and sent in John Gray. And John Gray is a young guy he's a senior, but he'll definitely hit you. But the linebackers are not stepping up in the holes like they should here in the second half.
Now from Newton's 15, we started again first down. They pitched to the left side, and immediately there looked like Katori Maddox making the play, and a loss for the Central Macon Chargers there, and that may run out the third quarter. We have 22 seconds left.
Good job there by Katori Maddox to come up and make the play. Of course, a cramp just grabbed him, so he's cramping up, but luckily it's going to be the end of the quarter, so this will help out the Rams.
An official's timeout has been called with 14.4 seconds left in the third quarter. Back with more of your third quarter and the fourth quarter of action. Can the Rams pull this one out? We are tied at 6 from Thompson Stadium in Macon. We'll be back with the Central Macon Chargers and our own Newton Rams after this on WGFS AM 1430. Welcome back as we have 12 seconds left in the third quarter. The Central Macon Chargers go to Snell, and Snell is stopped immediately. Jesse Snell, the junior fullback. The Rams read that play, and now we will have the end of quarter number 3. And Paul Dailey still tied at 6, but the Rams in some trouble here.
Yeah, and the bad thing about this is the Central Macon Chargers have a really good field goal kicker, so they're definitely in field goal position here. But we'll see what the Rams have. Of course, this is the fourth quarter. This is where you dig deep and try to dig deep within yourself and find some kind of effort. And those guys who have been going both ways have definitely got to be struggling right now.
We'll be back right after this. Another quick break as we're bringing you Ram football. Quarter number 4 coming up. Time to hunker down, to borrow that guy in Athens phrase. Tied at 6. We'll be back with your fourth quarter of action on WGFS AM 1430.
Back here to start the fourth quarter in Macon, Georgia on a Friday night, a hot, muggy Friday night. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Starting the fourth quarter here with third down on the Rams' 17-yard line, Central Macon. With the fake, and Walker is scrambling toward the sideline, and he is shoved out of bounds, was diving to get out of bounds and get as much yardage as possible. And he's down to around the 11, but still pretty well short of the first down. So with fourth down here, do you go for the field goal and the lead and give the Rams the ball back, or this close, do you try to punch it in?
The coach for the Central Macon is definitely going to send out his field goal kicker. He's got the distance. He's got a lot of leg. So the Central Macon Chargers are going to try about an average field goal here in high school. Let's see what it's going to be. It's going to be probably about a 30-yard field goal attempt.
Looks to me like the ball may be spotted around the 12, so if you figure 10 yards for the end zone and maybe another 7 for the snap, you're talking about a 29 or 30-yard attempt here from the right foot of John Jones, the senior kicker. And Jones has been effective throughout the game in all his kicking duties. He does them all.
Yeah, he's done a great job of punting. This will be his first field goal attempt. His extra point attempt was blocked, so maybe Greg Benson can remember what he did early in the first half and maybe block another one here. But John Jones has definitely got the he's definitely got the distance here. And it's going to be spotted about the 18-yard line, so we'll call it a 28-yard field goal attempt.
So John Jones with the chance to give Central Macon the lead. The 28-yard attempt, snap, hold, kick is up, and it is good. 3 points on the scoreboard thanks to number 3, John Jones. 9-6 your score. Central Macon leads the Newton Rams, and the Rams will try to get back on the field and take care of this 3-point deficit that they have, and we will have more of it right after this. Covington's radio station bringing you Newton Ram football. WGFS AM 1430.
With 11:32 left here in the fourth quarter, we're in Macon, Georgia on a Friday night. The Central Macon Chargers have gone on top of the Newton Rams 9-6. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Okay, Paul Dailey, thank you very much. And of course, you'll be hearing this on Saturday morning. So let's hope that things went well with the Eastside Eagles last night. This kick from John Jones, all right out the back of the end zone. Price thought about taking it at the 2, and probably a wise choice letting that slip by.
Yeah, definitely a wise choice. And once the ball hits the end zone in high school football, it's automatically coming out to the 20-yard line. So good choice there by Jonathan Price to go ahead and let the ball go through, and it's going to give the Rams 1st and 10 on their own 20.
Now, Paul, we've got 11:32 left in this game, a lot of field to cover, and I know that the Rams would like to have some kind of an extended drive, but yet want points on the scoreboard. How would you approach this drive?
Well, you got to get the balls in number 2's hand, Jonathan Price, and you've got to tell the guys up front that, hey, you got to block. We got to get this guy downfield. Give the ball to Jonathan. Let him do what he needs to do.
Gilstrap looked one side, now going the other side, and brought down by the legs at the 23-yard line. In fact, the entire team went left, fake left, and Gilstrap decided to go right. And only really 1 or 2 Central Macon defenders were on it, but one of them was right there next to it.
Well, what that tells you is if you have 10 people going left and 1 person going right, the one going right is probably the one that missed the assignment. I think Carey just missed his assignment there, had the poise to just tuck the ball and get what he could. He only picked up about a half a yard.
2nd and 9, that's the Blue Rambler Band you hear in the background. They put on a great performance at halftime, Blood, Sweat, and Tears songs. Go here on 2nd down, the Rams to Jonathan Price, and Price was at the 25-yard line. Bree Johnson was down on the football, so apparently the fumble, it's Katori Maddox actually on the carry, but Bree Johnson recovering as Maddox fumbled for just a moment.
Well, the Rams are having a lot of success straight up that straight dive with Katori Maddox. It looks like he's picking up about 5 or 6 yards each time he gets his hands on it. I'm real surprised that Coach is not going back to that. He picked up about 3 or 4 yards there, but you think about it, if you run him 3 or 4 straight times, it's going to be a first down each time. And he's had a lot of success doing it the whole game. So, I think the Central Macon Chargers are isolating on number 2, Jonathan Price, and if I was an opposing coach, I'd do the same thing. But one of the things you got to take advantage of is somebody they're not looking at, and they're not looking at Katori Maddox at this point.
And Maddox had 21 yards, the Rams' second leading rusher in the first half, and he's going to take over the leading rusher status now with the 3 carries so far in this half with 11 yards. He goes to 32 yards. Price has only touched the ball twice, in this half, and he's rushed for -3 yards, so he's down to 24 yards. So Maddox now is the leading rusher in this game for the Rams. And Thomas has also carried the ball once, but that's an extra point. We don't really want to count that sort of thing.
And another thing is, one of the things I want to go ahead and mark right now is I guarantee you'll see number 3 in the backfield before the season's over with. Gary Brown will definitely have to be used in the backfield at some point. Right now they have him at wide receiver, but when you have an athlete of that stature and that ability, you've got to use him somewhere, and wide receiver is just not the place right now. So look for number 3 to go in the backfield at some point.
3rd down, 5 yards or so to go from the 24-yard line of the Newton Rams, and this is a huge down here. If they can't convert, and once again, they may be in trouble, they'll have to punt. They go to Brown, the reception and the first down at the 35-yard line. Brown gets out of bounds. So Gary Brown, the tremendous athlete you just mentioned, puts up another big play on the board. And you can tell right now that Gary Brown is ready to contribute to the team effort in any way possible to help the Rams win.
Okay, as we talk about that, it looks like he's getting grabbed by some cramps, and I told these guys before the game started to make sure you get some Powerade and some water in you, because those cramps will just jump on you, and that's what is happening to Gary Brown at this point. Some cramps have jumped on him. We talked about that last year at the Rehan game, where the cramps just jump on you when you don't expect it. It just feels like somebody's just putting a claw hammer right in the back of your calf, and that's what's happening. So we have a timeout on the field.
Brown got up at the 35-yard line. Paul walked back toward the huddle, limping a little bit, and by the time he got to the 30, literally collapsed in the pain of these cramps. And this is going to bring out Joe Brassfield and the trainers to give water to the rest of the team, and they're going to tend after Gary Brown. But that was almost a scary sight as he went, just collapsed almost at the 30.
Well, Gary loves to wear those long, kind of like spandex things. I mean, they go from your waist all the way to your toes, and they look good, and maybe they serve a purpose in the winter, but I try to get them not to wear them because they don't allow a lot of air and a lot of your skin to breathe, and that's what a lot of things that brings these cramps on is your muscles not being able to breathe, and it kind of contracts some of the blood flow from going into your muscles. And some of the guys who are wearing those leggings have gone down with some leg cramps. I've noticed this tonight, so maybe next week I can try to talk these guys not into not wearing these things.
Next week, the Newton Rams and Rockdale Bulldogs will go head-to-head in what will be the final game for Paul Dailey before he heads up to the coaching booth. And you will start and finish your broadcast career against Rockdale County teams. Of course, no better team to finish it against for you than Rockdale County, the team that had some fun with in your playing days.
Yeah, it's probably not my favorite team in the world. I had a couple of incidents with the Rockdale Bulldogs, and great rivalry back in the 80s were Newton Rams and the Rockdale Bulldogs, and that was when Heritage was just coming on the scene, and the rivalry between Newton and Heritage never was really that big, but it definitely was against the Rockdale Bulldogs, and I'm glad to see that that'll be my last game on the broadcast booth, but who knows, they may not like my coaching skills, and I may have to come begging back.
We may see the man as part of the 97 broadcast team.
Coaches around the state of Georgia don't get to stay very long. You can ask Ray Goff that. I don't know. I just wanted to accept the responsibility and the challenge to go out there on the football field and try to give back to the team that allowed me to go to college for free. I went out there and gave it some blood, sweat, and tears, but it's a great opportunity to go back and be able to do something that I really always wanted to do.
And, of course, the coaching staff and everyone around Newton County will be happy to see you helping out the program, but you're going to leave us. That's the only bad thing about it. Gilstrap rolling out on 2nd down and gets past his defense and is he close to first down territory, out past the 40-yard line and out of bounds about the 42-43-yard line. Look for probably a 7-yard gain once we get the spot on that play. And Kerry Gilstrap, once again, using his vision and the athleticism.
Oh, great display of athleticism there. He's got to have eyes in the back of his head because someone was chasing him there and lunged out after him, and Kerry just kind of ducked his shoulder and was able to miss the tackle of the pursuing guy and was able to pick up about 7 big yards. So it's going to bring up 2nd and about 3.
First down a couple of plays ago of this half for the Rams, and here they give up the middle, and Maddox with the first down, and boy, did he fight for that first down. Body after body on top of him, but he continued that forward motion and got the first down, the 2nd of this quarter for the Rams.
Now, Katori is one of those guys that'll scrap you. I mean, he won't say nothing at practice, doesn't complain about anything about running sprints at the end of practice. He is just one tough kid, and if I was in a dog fight, that's be one of the first people that I'd ask to be on my side is Katori Maddox.
Got a couple of people on this team that fit that description. read here. Don't get into a dogfight with the big dog and the little Rams. Sometimes the big Rams. They go to Jonathan Price on first down. Gilstrap does, trying to find something on the right side, but not much there. He gets past the 50, though. In fact, the spot actually may take it right back to midfield. But for the first time in the second half, the Rams are about to go into Central Macon territory.
They're doing a good job of running straight up the middle, and what that does, Kevin, it allows, we haven't had any success on the corners all night long, but what they're doing is they're running Tory Maddox and Jonathan Price up the middle to try to sink them linebackers in, then maybe hurt them on the outside. So look for Jonathan or Kerry to do a quick pitch to the outside, maybe on third down. Right here, they'll probably try the same thing.
2nd and 7, 8:34 left in your ball game. Rams trail 9-6 to Central Macon. A fumble, Gilstrap picks it up, and he stays up after being hit hard, but hit by the same guy again, and tackled for about a 2-yard loss. The hit made by Matt Botwin, a junior, who plays some linebacker, and in that case was very good at getting to Kerry Gilstrap and keeping him from any kind of gain.
Good job there by, like you said, number 27, Matt Botwin. He was able to bring Kerry down. Kerry fumbled the ball, was able to pick it up. And both of them just showed a lot of gut there to make the play, and Kerry showed a lot of gut by picking the ball up and trying to get some yardage. He lost about 2 yards on the play, 3 yards on the play, so it's going to bring up about 3rd and 9 yards to go.
Ball is back around the 47, 48-yard line of the Rams. Gilstrap with a few words for his backfield of Price and Maddox. One receiver on the right-hand side. Gilstrap looked for him, now gets around his defenders. He's got 4 guys after him, fakes the give, and is at the 50, and will keep it himself on the QB sneak to the 48-yard line of Central Macon, but still a long ways to go for that first down.
I don't know. I really don't know what that play was. Kerry looked like he changed the play at the line of scrimmage when he went back and talked to the tailbacks, but he had both tailbacks just standing in the backfield not knowing what they're doing, and Kerry just kind of rolled out to the right and was able to pick up a few yards, but it's going to bring up 4th and about 6-7 yards to go, so Sonny Kaysen is in to punt.
So Kaysen will be back, and the Rams will not go for it here. Down 3, 7 minutes remaining in this game. Kaysen is back. He's done a great job back there punting for the Rams. They come after it, and oh man, did they almost block that. But he does get it off at the 20-yard line, tripped up at the 22 and tackled at the 25-yard line. On the return, Ray Presley for the Chargers of Central Macon. And here is a huge stand for the Ram defense. Got to hold them here. If they score a touchdown, the offense could be in serious trouble, and they've had enough trouble tonight.
This is where the defensive line and the linebackers and everybody out there on the field right now for the Rams have got to dig deep and get these guys 3 and out and get the offense back on the field. The Rams defense has got to definitely step up there, but good job there by the Central Macon's Tony Gilbert, that big guy, almost blocked the punt, but Sonny Kaysen got it away, and Josh Gill was down there to make the play.
First down now from Central's 26-yard line, and no play as the flags are on the field. 6:45 remaining in this game. And the Rams with yet another tight one in the first game of the year. We never seem to have any, either one way, blowout or being blown out. It's always tight in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it really surprised me because the college games we've been
High school with the ball at the 31-yard line, and no gain on this play as we're approaching second down here for Central Macon. The penalty on the Rams, of course, made it 1st and 5, but no gain here on that first down play. So we'll be approaching second down.
It's 2nd and about 5 yards to go. Good job there by Greg Benson to stop the dive play. The Central Macon Chargers have had little success here in the second half with the dive play and also running around the corner, so the defense have stepped it up here in the second half.
With 2nd and 10, Stuart Walker going to try to lead that offense, and Cummings got a huge hole, and he's out to the 40, and it takes Gary Brown staying with him for a long time to bring him down at the 42 or 43-yard line, and were it not for Gary Brown, we might see it 15-6 right now.
That's one of the things that you sacrifice whenever you tell your defensive end to always get the quarterback. The linebacker has definitely got to get that dive man, and the play earlier, I said they're not having any success on the dive, but as soon as I say that, they pick up about 15 yards. So the linebackers were caught sleeping right there, so look for Coach Shepard to make some kind of adjustment.
Under 6 minutes to go, and you can look at a couple of things here, including the run from Price that was eventually called back, and so many different factors. The Rams down by 3, fumble, but Walker fell on the ball immediately. Stuart Walker, the senior quarterback with the experience, understood, had to fall on the football, keep it in the possession of the Chargers.
Good break there for the Rams. Looks like that they were going to go to veer left, and Nikita Webb got sucked in there, but luckily there was a mischange between the center and the quarterback, and like I said, Kevin, Stuart Walker had the poise enough to just go ahead and fall on. A lot of young quarterbacks will try to pick that ball up and run with it, and that's when something really disastrous could happen.
Second down and 11, and what could be a crucial series of downs here. They go to Cummings, and Cummings is pushed back by the Newton Ram defensive front, which is taking charge now in the fourth quarter. Greg Benson coming up and leading the charge.
Good job there by Nikita Webb, and I've called his name a lot tonight, but he is playing an excellent ball game. Nikita Webb has grabbed the quarterback and the dive man there, so he been hurt on the dive and the quarterback, so he decided just to grab both of them and then kind of set him up for his big partner over on the other end. Greg Benson delivered just a mean blow to Robert Cummings, and I'm surprised Robert Cummings didn't. I'm surprised he's not still laying out there.
The defensive ends taking charge here, which is exactly what the Rams have to have. If the Chargers pick up another first down, they could run out a few more minutes of clock. Time is beginning to be of the essence. 4:53 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Rams trail 9-6. The field goal to start the fourth quarter, actually the second play from scrimmage for the Chargers in the fourth quarter, gave them that 3-point lead.
It's going to bring up a third and about 13, Kevin, and look for the Central Macon Chargers to pull something out of their bag right here, because they definitely want to maintain possession of this ball and don't want to give it to the Rams offense. Even though the Rams offense hasn't done a whole lot tonight, you never want to give a back like Jonathan Price the ability or the time to be able to do a big play.
Big time play here as Walker is rolling out, looking for his receiver, and did they get the reception in first down territory? Yes, they did. Past midfield with the reception, that mystery number 88, whom we still have not been able to figure out. He's kind of like Superman. He comes out of the shadows, saves the day, and then disappears for a while.
I'm really surprised. Like I said, he had a really good game last Friday night in the Jamboree, but they don't have him listed on the program, but was able to pick up just enough yardage. Well, actually, it's going to be short of the yard. It's going to be third and about a half a yard. Now they're going to call it a first down. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Central Macon Chargers on the Rams' 47-yard line.
Another first down for them. They're second of this quarter and 6th of the half. They have dominated the first down part of the game. Stuart Walker over center. And he pitches back, and it's a fumble at the 40-yard line. Still a loose ball. I think Central Macon has fallen on it at the 40. But they were pitching back to Robert Cummings, and something bad on the exchange there between Walker and Cummings. The Rams nearly came away with the football.
Oh, man, that was almost a big play for the Rams. Bree Johnson and also Katori Maddox was there to take the pitch, man. Stuart Walker shouldn't have pitched the ball, but decided to anyway, and it was a bad pitch. Bree Johnson dragged down the running back, and looks like Katori Maddox was about to come up with the ball, but heads-up play by a wide receiver for the Central Macon Chargers was able to pick up the ball. So it's going to be second and about 200 miles to go.
Yeah, Tony Arnold was in on that play and deserves a lot of credit for it. Second and a long way to go, and Walker looking for some open men, and incomplete here. They were looking for Arnold yet again. A little pressure put on by Rodney Smith. Smith, the senior.
Good job there by Rodney. He looked like he was about to hit the wide receiver right when the ball was thrown, but decided that the ball was probably uncatchable and kind of laid off of him. Rodney is a senior. He's got a lot of poise. Big addition to this football team.
You can sense something dramatic perhaps happening very, very soon. 3:50 left. If the Rams can stop Central Macon, they can get the football with maybe one more chance to put it in. That would, of course, give them the lead if they could do that. A field goal would tie this game. Of course, first things first, got to stop the Central Macon offense here. Third down and 23 yards to go. 3:50 left. Walker looking for the pitch, and the Rams have the football. The Rams have the ball at the 24-yard line. I think they intercepted the pitch.
Nikita Webb on the play there. What a play. He is playing an excellent ball game. I guarantee you we're going to have a player of the week here. I think it may have been Nikita Webb or Josh Millwood. I'm not really sure who got that ball. I'll find out for you. But, man, Nikita Webb is just playing an outstanding second half of stopping that quarterback, and this is a big break for the Rams. You just called it a play earlier, and maybe you got a little wisdom that we just didn't know about.
Don't know exactly what's going on, but let's keep more of it, shall we? 3 minutes, 43 seconds left. First down, Rams Central's 24-yard line. Gilstrap keeps it himself, a couple of yard gain. to the 21-yard line. Once again, you've got to start thinking about a couple of things. Of course, the Rams field goal unit, a little inexperienced, and you want to put it in for the 6 points in the lead, but you have to think about if you get close but not quite there on the 4th down, do you go for 3?
Well, Joseph Cox, our field goal kicker, is also our linebacker. He could boot a 45-yarder or he could miss a 6-yardage. He just didn't have a lot of experience in it, but he's definitely got the leg to do it. But hopefully we can put it in for 6.
2nd down and 8 from Central's 22. They go to Katori Maddox. Maddox has gone inside the 20 and almost to the 15-yard line, and that's where he is. The officials will spot it at the 15. We have 7 yards of the gain there for Maddox. After the gain of 7, Rams just a yard short of the 1st down, 3rd and 1 from the 15.
Good play there by Katori Maddox just to take the ball right over the guard and go right behind Habeas White, Brian Edwards, and the guys up front. They're doing a good job. Maybe this will inspire the Rams. The seniors up front needs to take charge here, need to convert this 1st down.
4 quarters of extremely hard work on defense and offense on a steamy, muggy night. What will happen? Gilstrap pass complete. Bree Johnson inside the 5 and tackled at the 3-yard line. Close there, Paul Dailey. We thought we might have the score, and there is Gilstrap's completion as a sophomore stepping up.
Oh, he's got an excellent arm, and that play's been working all night long. All it is a 3-yard down and out. Bree Johnson did a great job. It's going to bring up a 1st down, and looks like there's going to be a timeout on the field. The Central Macon Chargers decided to call timeout and try to adjust things here, so we'll give it back to you, Kevin.
When we come back, the goal line stand of the Central Macon Chargers versus the offense of the Newton Rams. Who will prevail? You'll find out in mere moments. WGFS AM 1430.
Getting down to nitty-gritty time with 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the ball game. The Newton Rams are driving here down 6-9. Back with your play-by-play, and hopefully good news, Kevin Holden.
Well, let's hope we have it. 1st down from the 3-yard line. If you'll pardon me, I'm going to have to really stretch to see this end of the field here. Kerry Gilstrap, the sophomore quarterback, on 1st down. He goes to Price. Price busting through. I don't think he got across. I think he stopped around the 2-yard line. Rams do have a couple of chances to put it across. Down 3. They can run some time off the clock by running the ball here.
That's what you definitely want to do, and they've gone to the goal line offense where you bring in 2 tight ends. Odell Dixon's in there, and also I think Josh Millwood's in there. But you just run it down the throat, try to give it to Jonathan Price, make sure the tailbacks cover the ball up and try to get it across. But one of the most important things here is time is getting off the clock.
We just passed what would be the 2-minute warning. Central Macon fans on their feet trying to cheer that defense. Kerry Gilstrap in the offense. They pitch to Price. Price tackled for a loss behind the 5-yard line. Making the play, Matt Botwin, who has come up with some huge defensive plays here for the Central Macon Chargers.
So it's going to bring it back to about the 7-yard line. So the Rams are going to be faced with 3rd and about 7, and it looks like the Rams have decided to call timeout.
So a timeout here for the Newton Rams. Now we're going to keep it here because we've got a couple of things to talk about. You got 3rd down and 7, 98.7 seconds left on that clock. And, of course, you can look at things past that have led to this situation here being down by 3. But the number one thing you look at right now, can the Rams pick up those precious about 5-6 yards that could mean the difference between victory and defeat? And how exactly do you go about picking up those yards now?
Well, what I would do is, of course, the defense is going to be bunched over the center, so that little dive play with Katori Maddox may not work well, but we just saw how the quick pitch to Jonathan Price didn't work real well either because the quickness of the outside linebackers from Central Macon. So what I would do here, Kevin, being almost a part-time coach, is I'd just go straight up the middle with Katori Maddox and see what we could get. Maybe put Joseph Cox in there. He is the 2nd-string fullback. Quinn Barnes is the 2nd-string fullback. Get some meat in there, but I would definitely just go straight up the middle.
Looks like they've got Maddox and Price as their backfield. Behind Kerry Gilstrap, the sophomore quarterback. Welcome to Quad A football, son. Over center from the 6-yard line. It's a pass and touchdown Rams. Gary Brown with the reception from 6 yards out. Gary Brown, the senior, catching yet another big play from Kerry Gilstrap's 6-yard pass. It is now 12-9 Newton Rams.
Excellent play there by Kerry Gilstrap. A lot of poise right there. Just took the ball back. Quick slant in by Gary Brown. Gary Brown got in front of the receiver and used his athletic ability, caught the ball, and just a big play. Whenever you need a big play, you got to go to number 2, you got to go to number 3, and now we can also go to number 8, Kerry Gilstrap, a sophomore, and we look forward to calling his name for 2 more years. So the Rams are going up 12-9 here with 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining.
Joseph Cox will be on to attempt the extra point. The snap, the hold, the kick is blocked. No good, as Cox's extra point is blocked, something the Rams will need to be working on over the next few weeks. A little trouble putting across the extra points. However, despite that, the Ram offense has done just enough. They've got 95 seconds to hold Central Macon's offense leading 12-9. Remember, a field goal could tie this thing, and remember the right foot of John Jones.
Well, also, Kevin, right here is, you throw fatigue out of it right now. You only have a minute 35 left. You throw fatigue out of it. The only thing that can beat you right here is a big play. They're not going to have enough time to march down the field unless they do it with big chunks. So what you got to do is you got to prevent the big play, and the Rams have practiced really hard against this. So the Rams are in a good position right here. You just got to throw fatigue out. And I wish I could go down on that field and tell the guys that just don't think about how tired you are. Just think about the good bus ride, the 2-hour bus ride back to Covington. But the Rams are in good position right here. If they don't do anything foolish, they got to play good, smart, fundamental football. Do not give up the big play.
Minute 35 remaining. Many Central Macon fans on their feet as they understand the importance of the next 95 seconds. The Rams lead by what would be a field goal, 12-9, thanks to the pass from Kerry Gilstrap to Gary Brown. Kickoff here from Joseph Cox. And he boots it, an end-over-end kick, and going to be taken at the 10-yard line. Out to the 20, past one tackler, past another, and down at the 23-yard line. Taking that ball was Larry Smith, 50-yard kick, 13-yard return.
Good job there by the kickoff coverage team for the Rams. Joseph Cox kicked the ball down about the 10-yard line. Good return, about a 17-yard return for the Central Macon Chargers. But the Rams are in the driver's seat right here. I'm not really sure how many timeouts the Chargers have, but I'm sure they got about 2 or 3. So this is going to be coming down to the defense, and if you want anybody on the field, you want the Newton defense.
6 seconds were taken off the clock on that play. So you've got a minute 29. First down, Central's 24-yard line. A little different setup. We've got 3 wideouts here, 2 backs. Walker rolling around right side, looking to pass. It's up deep and incomplete. That could have been huge. Lester Gilbert open at around the 40-yard line. Gary Brown on the coverage. Of course, if it's a big play, who's there?
Big players step up in big down situations, and that's what it was. Stuart Walker just threw an excellent pass to number 20, Lester Gilbert. The ball was right there, but at the last minute, Gary Brown just put that big paw up and knocked the ball free. Excellent play there by Gary Brown, and Rodney Smith also on the coverage.
Second down from the 24-yard line. Announcers and players have to learn special skills as the year goes along. Back to pass again is Walker. It is up and complete and brought down at about the 30-yard line. The catch there from Ray Presley, who has made his mark at a few various times on this game.
Good job there of the defense of preventing the guy to get out of bounds, but one bad thing about it, there's a Newton player down on the field which stops the clock, and it's again the cramp bug is getting on Nikita Webb. I think that's Nikita down there. Of course, it's just the cramps. But I tell you what, big play there by the Newton defense to keep the Central Macon guy inbound. So it's going to be a timeout on the field so they can tend to the Newton player that's down on the field.
Okay, what we'll do is they tend to the Newton player is take a quick break. When we come back, we've got your fourth quarter of action and much more. WGFS AM 1430 bringing you play-by-play action of the Newton Rams and Central Macon Chargers. We'll be back with more after this.
Back live here in Macon, Georgia, where the Newton Rams are on top, 12-9 over the Central Macon Chargers. Back with your play-by-play, Kevin Holden.
Third down and 7 from Central's 27-yard line. Walker once again back to pass. Fans up on their feet. It is up and incomplete. They were looking for either Larry Smith or Ray Presley. They found neither. Walker overthrew them, and now we're at fourth down with 67 seconds left.
It's going to bring up a fourth down and about 8 yards to go. You only have a minute and 7 seconds, so coach has got to make a decision. Should we go ahead and pick up the first down and have a minute to play with, or should we just go for it all right here? And if I was in the Central Macon coach's position, I'd be worried about that 7 or 8 yards to go ahead and give us 4 more downs. So look for the Central Macon Chargers to do something a little quick down and out to pick up about 8 yards.
Paul, we can see clearly now the Rams are in the driver's seat, if you know what I mean. Listen to those stands rumble. Those are the home fans in a brand new stadium rumbling the bleachers. And they are going to go for it here on fourth down with a minute 7 left. Central on their own 27, backed by the fans. Walker looking to pass. He's looking left side. The ball is up and incomplete. And there comes the flag. There comes the flag against Gary Brown, guarding that mystery number 88. 58 seconds left. Let's check the flag. Looks like it's going to be against the Newton Rams and Gary Brown, who was guarding that mystery number 88. The flag thrown past midfield. This could be a dagger.
Bree Johnson's going to be called for the defensive interference there, and he definitely was just trying to catch up to the mystery number 88 and just kind of ran right into him. Number 88 was coming back for the ball, and Bree kind of just ran into him. Good call there by the referee. Bad luck for Bree Johnson, but it's going to give the Central Macon really good field position. And again, one thing you got to remember, if they can't put 6 on the board, they definitely got the ability to put 3 on the board with their kicker, James John, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that Jones guy, right?
Yeah, John Jones. There you go.
From the 42-yard line now, first down for Central Macon.
It's not as bad as penalty as you think it was. You didn't think they do it from the spot, but actually it's just a 10-yard penalty.
So 58 seconds left. First down for the Chargers, and they get after Walker, and they knock him down at the 41-yard line.
Nikita Webb is just killing the quarterback. There's no question who is the player of the game on defense. I mean, Nikita Webb is having a great game.
And Webb, once again, after Stuart Walker, the senior quarterback who has led his troops in a valiant effort throughout this game, but they may come up just a little bit short, trailing 12-9. You hate to have a loser come out in this game. I mean, it wasn't the sharpest played game for both sides. Certainly been a dramatic affair, though.
Oh, I tell you what, the defense has played excellent. Nikita Webb, a lot of attention goes to Greg Benson because of the great athlete that he is, and he's got all these colleges looking at him, and he deserves that. But most teams are going to run away from Greg Benson, and I don't blame any team for doing that. But that puts a lot of pressure on number 50, Nikita Webb, and he has stepped up to the occasion, and he's doing an excellent job here. It's going to bring up second and about 12 yards to go for the Central Macon Chargers, but don't count that quarterback out, Stuart Walker. He's got a lot of poise back there, got a lot of ability, and that phantom number 88 is one to watch also.
49.5 seconds left. Second down and 11. And they're going to go to the pass. Walker up, and that's complete. Past midfield. He got out of bounds with the reception. Larry Smith, he's been there at some times for the Chargers. And they're close to midfield here. 42 seconds left, and the Chargers continue to drive downfield.
Good play selection there by the Central Macon coaching staff of getting some down and outs. It's going to bring up a third and about 3 yards to go. But the coaching staff's doing good jobs of making sure their receivers are getting out of bounds. And it's just like a pro game. You look up on the clock, and very little time has gone off the clock. We have 42 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Newton on top, 12-9.
3rd and 2. Time for that defensive front to step it up and do the job. Stuart Walker, the senior quarterback, going back in once again. He's being pressured. Got the pass off, and almost intercepted by Gary Brown. Brown was about 2 steps in front of the ball. Had a good read on it, but overran it by about 2 steps. All he could do was tip it, let it fall to the ground. Better than nothing.
Good job there by Gary. Gary is very capable of coming down with that ball and running it in for 6 yards, but I think he was looking at the goal line before he caught the ball. But a good break up there. A lot of pressure there from the defensive outside linebackers. I don't remember who was in there on the pressure, but good job there of putting pressure on Stuart Walker to get rid of the ball quick.
37 seconds, 4th down, 2 yards to go. That Ram defense with another chance here. Stopping them on 4th down, hopefully. It's going to be a close one. Robert Cummings on the run up the middle. And we're probably going to see a first down. That's the preliminary look.
I don't think we're getting a pretty good spot right there. I don't think you made it.
Let's check it out.
It's going to be real close, but I don't think you made it.
The officials are going to come up and check this out. Talk about dramatics in a game. Where that chain lies is going to determine whether the fans on this side or on that side are going crazy.
I'll tell you what, if we prevented them from getting a first down right there, that was a very poor spot by the referee. The guy clearly went over the first down marker, but the referee decided to mark the ball back. Big break for the Rams.
Newton football. 26 seconds left, and the Rams with the football. 1 yard run.
We got away with a big one right there, Kevin. The guy clearly got a first down, but he marked the ball back, and looks like the Rams are going to take a timeout right here with 26 seconds left to try to get everything organized and see what's happening.
We're going to come back with the final 26 seconds of this game, and looks like we may have good news here from Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia, where you've got a 12-9 lead for the Newton Rams in certainly dramatic fashion. We'll be back. Ram football on WGFS AM 1430.
Back live here with only 26 seconds remaining. The Rams are in definite control here, leading 12-9, with Central Macon not having any timeouts remaining. Back with your play-by-play, and hopefully the remainder of this victory, Kevin Holden.
Let's just end this without any more dramatic, shall we? Gilstrap is down. A 1-yard loss, puts his knee to the turf, and the Rams. And with that run from Gilstrap, it looks as if the Newton Rams have finally sealed this 12-9 victory. You think back, Kerry Gilstrap the pass to Gary Brown, the two men that you'd like to have get the job done in a situation like this. It's exactly what they did. Your two go-to guys, you went to them, they came through, and that's how the Rams come up on the front end of the scoreboard.
That's right. You're right, Kevin, about that. When you need a big play, you go to the big play players, and Gary Brown stepped up right there. Second string receiver, just trying to get him some rest, come in there and was able to make a 6-yard reception for a TD. I can't say enough about Kerry Gilstrap and the way he played. It's just a sophomore, being his first game as quarterback, a lot of poise. The offense has got to do a lot of improvement before next week and before we get into our region. But that'll come around. But they was able to come around, play real bad tonight, and still get a victory. But the defense played excellent tonight, and that's one of the things Coach Brassfield has always talked about is our defense is sound. We just got a lot of work to do on our offense, and that was evident tonight. But I can't say enough about Nikita Webb, the way he played on defense. Also, Kerry Gilstrap and the poise he had. One player we didn't hear a lot about was Jonathan Price, but we are going to hear a lot about him all year long. Just didn't have a real good night, and there's going to be a lot of people keying on him because every time we send films to opposing teams, they always ask about number 2, so they're going to make adjustments to try to stop him. It's going to be frustrating at times, but he's the kind of player that can break that, and next week I'm sure he'll have a big game against the Bulldogs in Rockdale County.
We'll come back, we'll wrap it up, give you some stats and a lot more. It is the Newton Rams victorious from Macon, Georgia on this Friday night, 12-9, as they defeat the Chargers of Central Macon. Back to wrap this up, coming up on WGFS AM 1430. Folks, welcome back to Central Macon High School and Thompson Stadium in Macon, as we have brought you the first game of 1996, an absolute gut-wrencher, and if we don't catch sleep tonight, something's got to be wrong. A 12-9 win for the Newton Rams, and talk about last minute pulling it out. Paul Dailey, what a great kickoff to the 1996 season. I'm sure you'd like something a little less dramatic, but hey, if you've got to have it, at least come out on the winning side.
Well, as they say, Kevin, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty at all, but the defense did what they had to do to keep the Central Macon Chargers out of the end zone in the second half. They allowed a field goal, but did a great job. And like I said, those guys are going both ways. They were tired, and you know, when we go back and we talk about sprinting at practice, they're going to understand why we do the sprints, because they were out there sucking for some wind, but they dug deep in the fourth quarter, came up with a big play. When the fumble recovery. I'm not sure who got that fumble recovery, but that was the biggest play of the ball game. It looked like Central Macon was going to just run the clock out, and just a bad pitch by the quarterback, Stuart Walker, allowed the Newton Rams to get back in this game. And the offense marched down there and did what they had to do, putting the ball in the end zone with a big play from Kerry Gilstrap to just a down-and-out pattern to Gary Brown. And big players come up at big times, and Kerry Gilstrap, only being a sophomore, is going to be one of those big players that we're going to be talking about all season long. But it was just a rewarding thing to see these guys fight back in the fourth quarter, and hopefully they won't do this all year long, but we'll take the victory and go back to Covington and get ready for Rockdale and get this offense on track, because we have a lot of skilled people in those positions, and we just got to get that offense on track. We shouldn't have been in the position we are tonight, but one good thing out of tonight is our defense played hard, and we did what we had to do to win the ball game. So that's comforting to know.
41 rushes for the Rams tonight, 69 yards, less than 2 yards per rush. The passing attack, 4 for 9 for only 32 yards. Add that up and you get 101 yards of total offense for the night. Not a great performance, only 12 points on the scoreboard. Winning ugly, I think, is the way to call it, but it's winning nonetheless, and we've got to give a tremendous amount of credit to down here at the end zone when the Rams were close but having trouble putting it in, going to the passing game inside the red zone, something we don't usually see from the Rams, and Kerry Gilstrap hitting Gary Brown at what was the most crucial moment of the game.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot of that. Kerry's got a great arm. If we can just get the blocking up front to allow him to set up and throw that ball. Kerry loves to run and roll out, where he actually is a great pocket passer, and we're going to put that in, and he did a great job. And I tell you what, this is a tone-setting ball game. Whenever you go out and if you lose your first ball game, it kind of gets a bad taste in your mouth for the rest of the season. But they came in, they fought real hard, and they got a victory under their belt, and they're going into the Rockdale game 1-0. So that's just a tone setter, and it sets it up really good for the Rams to be in a good position to play the Rockdale Bulldogs at home at Homer Sharp Stadium, or Homer G. Sharp Stadium, as Bill Dolan would say.
Anyway.
Oh, we're going to talk to him about that. But anyway, it's Homer Sharp Stadium, and I'm looking forward to next week, and it'll be my farewell broadcast, but I'm sure the broadcast is going to be in good hands with Mark coming in and taking my place, and I guarantee you it'll be an honor to come back up here and talk with you guys at halftime or whatever to give y'all a little insight of what's going on down the field. And that's something that we're doing the first two games. I'm getting to go down there at halftime and tell you what's really going on. But it's going to be a good ride back to Covington. I'm anxious to go down there and talk to some of my players, Nikita Webb especially, about a great game that he played, and Havius White and Brian Edwards and all those guys out front, the guys that I coach. They did a tremendous job, and I'm just anxious to go down there and congratulate them.
Well, Paul, you go and congratulate your players, and we will see you next Friday. Thank you once again for a tremendous broadcast of a tremendous game.
Well, I look forward to it, and I look forward to listening to the broadcast tomorrow and see how bad I really am and how bad I need to get out of this booth and get down there on the field. But I've really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna miss being up here, but I guarantee you, anytime that you need somebody, I'll be more than glad to come up here. And, of course, we always have the Big Dogs pick, so, we'll still be in contact, and you guys do a great job. And, as Coach Brassfield and Coach Cook has always said, the radio station is a big plus for our football program, and really appreciate it.
Well, by the time this airs tomorrow, you will know the answers to all the questions you have just asked. So, once again, we bring you happy news here from Thompson Stadium in Macon, Georgia. It is Katori Maddox leading the way rushing-wise with 43 yards on 11 carries. Rams only 69 yards as rushing as a team, 32 yards passing, but it was enough. 12-9. Now, here's an odd note. For executive producer Kevin Holden reporting from Macon, where we bring you the final. 12-9. The Rams over the Central Macon Chargers. Have a good afternoon. Stay tuned for Country Countdown USA and Atlanta Braves baseball. All of that coming up on your Saturday afternoon here on WGFS.
Out at Homer G. Sharp Stadium as they take on the East Paulding Raiders, and the Newton Rams travel all the way down to Macon and play their season opener tonight. This is Bill Dolan. I'm here with Kevin Holden. Kevin, it's hard to believe it's here already.
Can't believe it. Seems like we were just dreaming about the beach and sand and surf and that sort of thing just a few weeks ago. I guess we were, actually. It's still pretty warm out there, but football season has begun. And, man, are we ever looking forward to some great seasons. In fact, two of them, as you mentioned, as for the first time ever, we're going to have two high schools competing at the varsity level in this area. You've got Newton staying in 8 Quad A, and, of course, 8 Quad A has a very different face than it did even last year with several new teams. In fact, Brookwood and Shiloh and Newton are about the only holdovers from 8 Quad A, which is now 8 Quad A Division B as opposed to 8 Quad A South. And, of course, Eastside making its entry into 8 AAA, and they've got a lot of teams in that region, so they'll play East Paulding, and then they'll kick off that region thing really fast.
You're absolutely right, Kevin. And, unfortunately, due to scheduling commitments, Eastside will not be able to join us for the coach's breakfast. But starting next week, we are going to have a little segment of the breakfast with an interview with Coach Bantone of the Eastside Eagles. And he'll talk about the upcoming game, and next week he'll talk about the game tonight a little bit, hopefully a win for them. And also, like every Friday, though, we will have Coach Joe Brassfield and the rest of his staff here, along with two captains from the Newton Rams, and hopefully good news will be coming from Macon tonight.
That's right, and the way that Coach Brassfield was in here marching in like a veteran and hitting the breakfast bar, you'd think he was coaching two sports or something. But, Bill, we're looking forward to a great year here on the Coach's Breakfast. Unfortunate that Eastside couldn't join us, but if they're listening in, we want to wish them the best of luck against East Paulding's Raiders tonight at Homer Sharp Stadium. But, of course, we'll have our broadcast of both games live on one live and one on tape delay on WGFS. The Eastside game is live, and then the Newton Central Macon game will air tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. So we have a rarity. The players and coaches who live in this area can actually hear their game the next day. So it'll be something a little new for us.
I think that's going to be real advantageous because the players never get to listen to the games, and the coaching staff or a lot of the parents that go to the games, or particularly like the road games, when they're out of radio range, they're not able to listen to it there, although at home games we get a lot of people bringing out radios and listening. We encourage people to do that. If you're attending the game tonight or any Friday night out at home or G-Sharp, bring a radio along and listen to either Kevin Holden and later on in the year Mark Birch. I believe the big dog himself will be working with cameoing, and we hope to have the big dog's picks continuing through the year, a tradition on football broadcast now. And then for Eastside broadcast, I'll be bringing you the play-by-play along with Tim Bice, and we're excited and ready to go. And like I said, it's still hard to believe it's football season already.
It's great, though. We're looking forward to it, as we've mentioned before. And you and Tim, I'm sure, will make a terrific broadcast team. Unfortunately, Bill, I'll be kind of busy when you guys are on the air on Friday night, so make some tapes so we can listen in to your first couple of broadcasts, because I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun, as I will with the big dog. We'll catch a small little bitty portion. See, this is the deal with Paul Dailey. He knew so much about football. He knew too much. They had to hire him away from us and bring him to the coaching thing. So we brought in Mark Birch, who will take Big Dog's place September 20th, which, by the way, is Mark's birthday. It's been a big joke around the station that on his birthday he will be given a nice present to take over the Big Dog's shoes, and those are literally big shoes to fill. Speaking of which, I'm going to hand this your way.
And here he comes in right now. And he's shying away from the microphone, not wanting to come over. It is the big dog himself. Are you in the radio mode or the coaching mode right now, Paul?
I'm in the eating mode right now.
And, of course, we are at Shoney's and the Breakfast Bar. Plenty of good eating out there, and I'm sure you'll enjoy yourself there. Some of the players here doing well, the coaching staff. In fact, Coach Brassfield back reloading again. And Kevin, what do you think?
Well, I think that, first of all, looking around, the changes that they've made here at Shoney's in the past year are quite impressive. Of course, they've done a lot of remodeling to this place, and we broadcast from the back room at Shoney's, and they've added in some glass doors now as opposed to the sliding curtain that we've had in the past, and gives it a nice look back here. In fact, we even have a TV and VCR, so we'll watch game film here, if we want to catch up on anything on Friday mornings.
All right, well, Coach Brassfield has come back. Why don't you go ahead and talk to him a little bit about what he foresees coming up tonight and in weeks to come.
Coach, you may have to hold off on that dessert for just a minute. And we better talk about football before we get in too much trouble here. Coach, your first season as head coach of the Newton Rams, of course, you're very experienced with the way this team runs and the way the offense is run, but how does it look from a little different perspective now?
Well, just first off, I'm excited about the opportunity to go out and fulfill one of my goals and get a chance to be a head coach. And the kids have responded well. They're working hard. And I think we've got a chance to have a great season if they'll go out and do what they're supposed to do, and the coaches keep up their end of the bargain and do what we're supposed to do. I think everything will work out just fine.
And we decided to make it really easy for you first week and make you travel all the way to Macon to take on the Central Macon Chargers. What can you tell us about them?
Well, they got a good team. They were 7-3 last year. Didn't make the playoffs. Probably had a very similar year to what we had. Right, a couple games out of the playoffs, but we're good. They got a lot of returning players. They've changed offenses, which I think will probably cause them a little bit of problem. We went through some of that last year. When you go from one offense to another, you got a year or two of growing pains. Hopefully we're through with that, but their defense will be good. They do a lot of things stunning wise, moving people around, trying to confuse you. They're not quite as big as we are, but they're real quick, and they get after you pretty good.
Now, of course, with a new head coach, some things may be done a little differently. So as far as the offense is concerned, tell us how the setup will be and what the Rams will try to do on offense this year.
Well, I mean, it's obvious we've got a great tailback in Jonathan Price and Rashad Scott, and we've got to get them the ball. I think that's going to be the key. We're going to have a young quarterback in Kerry Gilstrap and Quint Thomas, and we don't feel like we can put the pressure on those two right now to win and lose the game. We're going to depend on our offensive line, who is much improved from last year. We've got good athletes there who understand what we're trying to do. We've tried to make things a little bit simpler for them and get the ball in our tailbacks' hands and give them a chance to win the game. And then we got some other athletes places. We got Ambricus Johnson's moved back, and Gary Brown has moved to the offensive side of the ball and will start or play a lot as a receiver. And Rodney Smith and Sonny Cason are both doing a good job at our wideout position. So we think we got enough weapons out there if we can just spread the ball around and get enough people a chance to make some plays for us at the same time, keep it simple enough, and be able to run the football. That's the key to the game, I think.
How about the defensive side now? Of course, you've got several returning starters and several great returning starters who have made great contributions to the program over the last few years. And the Ram defense has kind of gotten a reputation. 2 years ago, they were ranked in the top 10 in points allowed in the state over the first 9 games. And so we can look for that sort of thing hopefully to continue. What do you look for out of your defense?
Well, we've got tremendous players over there. I mean, I don't think there's any key about that. We've won the last few years because of defense. And I think last year at times we won in spite of the offense. But that's hopefully a new and better era this year coming. But the defense is going to play hard. They got a little bit different look. We feel like we got enough people to line up and play with people. And so we're not going to quite stun as much. We're going to try to line up and play base a little more, but still get after people's tails and play hard. When you got good people over there and they run to the football and they play hard, you always got a chance on defense.
And how about the special teams? How have they come along?
Well, we had to replace basically everything, our punters and kickers and everything. So Joseph Cox is going to do most of our extra point and long field goal. Our punter will be Sonny Cason. Long snapper will be Josh Gill. And I feel good about it. Obviously, you don't know until you get out there and see them in game action sometimes, but they've worked hard at it. And we realize that kicking is just as important as offense and defense. We've got to do a good job with that area also. But we're excited about it and just get out and see what happens tonight.
All right, Coach, you and I still have full plates here for breakfast bar, so let's hand this back to Bill. Thanks for being with us, and best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, thank you very much.
Now, Bill, I'm going to let you have this so we can eat some.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much, and thank you, Coach Brassfield. Looks like they're ready to go. I did get a chance to talk to Coach Fantone of the Eagles last night a little bit, and he spoke about some of the players and the things to look forward to them. When you talk about special teams, that's one of the things he speaks very highly of, and Eastside has a kicker to be watched this year. They've got a kid that can really kick the ball by the name of J.B. Dial. He's got a strong leg. He has played soccer most of his life, switched over to football last year. I was out watching a practice one day, watching him hit from about 45 fairly consistently. He can really get a foot into it. Also kicks it down to about the goal line and the 5 on kickoffs, and also has started taking over punting duties this year, which is a far different thing from kicking. Very seldom do you see a guy that can do punting and kicking off, but he's going to handle those duties. And so far it looks like he can handle it pretty well. But once again, like Coach Brassfield said, when you get out into the actual varsity situation, it's a big difference. And Eastside has of course, all of their players, none of them have any varsity experience, but they're basically returning for the 3rd season. All of the juniors have played together since freshman year, and the quarterback, Matt Shell, has a pretty exceptional arm for someone, a junior in high school. He can drill the football when needed and also has a pretty good touch on it. I was fortunate enough to get to see them practice a little bit in the past couple of weeks, and it looks like they're going to be able to throw the ball. They also have some guys that can carry the ball on the ground, and, of course, the key is going to be the blocking up front if they can open the holes. Josh King is very quick as the tailback, and Jonathan Rhodes is a big fullback that can get through there and drag people with him. And they've got some capable receivers that will be able to catch the ball, and that's going to be the key, though, hanging on to the ball. It doesn't matter how well a quarterback gets it to it, but the receivers have to be able to hang on to it. So Eastside also on the defensive side has some guys that can really put some sticks to people, and they've got some excellent covers. They're going to basically start out. They play multiple defenses, and it looks like they're going to start tonight in a 4-4 with 4 down linemen and then the 4 linebackers and 3 defensive backs. Of course, they like to adjust and move into a variety of things. They will run their offense out of the wing T, which Coach Fantone likes because it gives you a multitude of looks, and you can run the same plays from all different types of formations and everything. So things looking good for Eastside as they take on the East Paulding Raiders. I don't know a whole lot about them. I know they had a rough season last year. They were 1-9. They are returning some starters this year. Do you know much about East Paulding, Kevin?
Bill, I will tell you now the extent of my knowledge of the East Paulding Raiders. They're called the Raiders, and they're from Dallas, Georgia. Actually, I knew about the record from last year, but unfortunately haven't seen much on the East Paulding Raiders, but I know that you'll know a lot about them after tonight.
You're absolutely right, and I guess Central Macon we don't know too much about either that the Newton Rams will be taking on. So hopefully both schools will put that one in the win column tonight and start out 1-0 as we head into football season. Well, I guess we can stroll around and talk to some of the other people here, and let me see if I can rouse the big dog for just a minute. Paul, by the way, congratulations on joining the coaching staff out at Newton. I know it's something you've always wanted to do, was to coach, and I know you've got to be happy that you're able to work with the kids out there at Newton now.
Well, yeah, it's a big honor. Last couple of years up there in the booth with Kevin, I was doing some of my armchair coaching, and Kevin can attest to that. But this year, officially I can't become, be one of the assistants until I go through the 2 classes I have to take in September. But I'm out there giving moral support, and I'm getting to know the athletes, and Newton's got a lot of good athletes, a lot of college prospects, and I'm excited about the season.
All right, and what will you be coaching once you officially take over?
Well, I think outside linebackers, but I think I'm going to be coaching with the defensive ends also, since I've got some experience with that as well.
All right, now you, of course, and for those that don't know, played football at Newton High School and also played college ball at NC State.
Yeah, it's an honor to come back and go out there on a practice field that I used to sweat and bleed from, but now I don't have to do that. I still sweat a little bit, but I try to stay away from all that bleeding. But the guys are going through some of the same things that I went through. Plus, some of the players have the chance, like I did, to go on and play college ball, and that's an honor. And we're going to get the big dogs picks rolling. I'm going to go over there and do that today. But Georgia Tech's going to go up there into my homeland up there in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm sure the Wolfpack's going to come away with a big victory.
All right, Paul. Do you notice much of a difference in football from when you played until now that you've rejoined as a coach? And do you see a difference in size, speed, and just changes in the game much?
Well, over the last several years, last 3 years I've been doing the radio, I feel like the players are a lot smaller, but this year I've changed my mind since I've been down there on the field. There's some players down there just as big as we were, probably quicker, probably stronger. But the numbers of big people when I was in school in '82, we had 7 players that were over 250 pounds, and this year we probably have around 4 of them are about that size. So it's over the last few years, I thought high school players were a little smaller, but it's coming back around to where the players are stronger, quicker, and they're getting as big as we were.
Well, great. We'll look forward to hearing the Big Dogs picks tonight at halftime. That'll be airing live during the Eastside game, and then it'll also be on the tape game tomorrow so people can hear it and see how well you predict them this year. Do you remember what your record was last year?
We don't need to go into that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Well, good luck tonight and in the future with you, and congratulations once again on getting that coaching assignment. I'm going to walk over here and talk to my good friend, Coach Stanley Allen. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
Oh, Coach, I'm doing great. Are you ready for tonight?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to get it on. We've been 5 weeks is a long week not to play a real game.
I think tonight's the key for you guys and for Eastside. Go out there and go ahead and hit somebody else and just really sink the teeth into it. And after about the first couple series, I think the kids will settle down and really get into it.
Yeah, I think they're ready to play. We've been trying not to beat on each other too much, but you have to most of the time to get ready. And I know they're ready to beat on somebody else beside themselves. I know they're ready for me and everybody else to quit hollering at them too. So they like games better than a whole lot better than they like practice.
You're right about that, Coach. What are you coaching this year?
I'm coaching the offensive line, an offensive coordinator, and I do the kicking.
All right, and how does your kicking game look? I know that's completely changed over last year. You don't have any returning, but what do you think? Will it develop well enough?
Yeah, it's going real good. We got Joseph Cox kicking off and kicking field goals, and Sonny Casey punting. First of the season, it was kind of ugly because we haven't done it, but they've gotten a lot better. I mean, they may still shank some, but they're a whole lot better than they were, and they're getting better every day.
Of course, field goal kicking, one of the more precision points of football, because it takes basically 3 things to make it happen. So you got to have the good snap, you got to have the good hold, and then the kick has to be good also. And of course, down there when you're kicking those extra points, how many games are won or lost by a point?
There's a lot of them. I tell you, we've been working on it real hard this week. Joseph's been working extra time. He's been working after practice. And Josh Millwood, he's a snapper on long and short snaps. He and Britt have been together for 3 years, and they've worked a lot together, and Josh is going to do a real good job for us, and so is all the kickers. I mean, we got Quint, Thomas, Holden. So, I mean, I think the kicking game's going to go good, but don't everybody get really excited if we miss one or two the first of the season we did last year, too.
Well, that's the key. Like I say, it's going to have to develop, especially it's really tough when you have a complete turnover of your kicking game. How's the offensive line look? Do you feel like you've got enough size to move people out of the way for Jonathan Price to go through?
Oh, yeah, we got a lot of size. I guess the smallest one we got is Josh Gill. He weighs about 210. We average, after that, we probably average 250, 260 across the line. They're going to play defense, too, but it's the first group I've ever had that had that many athletes in the offensive line. Usually we have everybody else but the athletes, but this year we've turned it around, and we've got people playing both ways, and they've accepted it, and they're doing a real good job, and I'm happy with them. I mean, it's been fun.
Well, that's great, Coach, and I know you're ready tonight. Are you going to be on the field this year? I know in the years past you've been up in the press box.
Yeah, he put me down on the field. I guess he felt sorry for me having to climb them stairs, so he put me on the field.
That's quite a climb up to the press box out there at Homer Sharp Stadium and most other places, too. But you guys travel to Central Macon tonight. Do you know much about them at all, Coach?
Well, I know they've been the big dogs in Macon for a long time. Not you, Paul. They've been the team to beat in Macon. Coach Simonton's done a real good job. He keeps them disciplined down there, which a lot of the schools down there, that's a rap on them that they're not disciplined. Central Macon is. They've got a lot of people out. They play well. They play disciplined football. So, I mean, they're going to be good. But as long as we do what we've got to do in the offensive, defensive lines, I don't think there's going to be any problem.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck tonight, and bring home a win for the Newton Rams.
We're going to do the best we can.
Thanks a lot, Coach. That was Coach Stanley Allen, offensive line coach and kicker. And, Kevin, I think we're going to go ahead and send it back to the station so that they can take care of some station business, and we'll be back right after this.
How long are you going to be?
It's time to kick things off with a bang. This fall, double your football pleasure on WGFS as we bring you coverage of both area high schools. This Friday, the Eastside Eagles take the gridiron for their first ever varsity game. They face East Paulding's Raiders at 7:30. Our coverage starts at 7:15 Friday. Then Saturday at 11 a.m., listen for the rebroadcast of the Newton Rams opener against the Central Macon Chargers. High school football on WGFS, brought to you by Mayfield Ace Hardware, Newton Federal Savings and Loan, Covington Ford, Coast to Coast Home and Auto, Hardy's Floor Covering, Courtesy Ford, Burger King, Farm and Garden Depot, Jeans Hourglass, Statham Tire, Ludi Sports, Snapping Shoals EMC, Walker Harris Chrysler Plymouth Dodge, and Shoney's Restaurant. It's the Eastside Eagles' first varsity game Friday at 7:30, then the Rams Saturday at 11 on WGFS AM 1430.
The folks at East Metro Communications think that everyone needs a cellular phone, and that's why they are excited about the latest promotion from AirTouch Cellular. It's not one promotion, it's 3. Whether you're interested in a cell phone for safety reasons, recreation, or your car is your office, East Metro can find an AirTouch rate plan that's right for you. East Metro Communications is celebrating their 10th year in the cellular phone business, making them one of AirTouch Cellular's oldest agents. Naturally, they carry a large selection of cellular phones and accessories. Call them today at 786-6796. 786-6796, or go by their store at 7115 Highway 278 in Covington. That's a quarter-mile east of Newton General Hospital.
Susan, and it is Football Friday. We're here at Shoney's, and everyone seems to have finished eating now. They did a pretty good job on the breakfast bar, some of that fine food out there. And we're going to go talk to several of the players that have joined us. They're the captains for tonight. We've got Josh Gill and Greg Benson. And Josh, how you doing today?
Pretty good.
All right, Josh, I noticed you made a couple trips to the breakfast bar. What did you find to your liking there?
The sausage biscuits were pretty good, and the scrambled eggs and the hash browns and some fruit. It's pretty good.
All right, good.
Are you ready for tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I heard your name mentioned earlier. You do some long snapping. What else do you do? Are you the starting center?
Yes. I'm the starting center, and I back up on defensive tackle, and I play special teams.
Okay, and traveling to Central Macon, kind of a long trip. It's a long bus ride, but so by the time you guys get there, you're going to be ready to get out there and hit on some other people instead of on each other, right?
Yeah, we wait for this for about 5 weeks. Practice gets rough out there, hitting on each other, and it's time to hit on somebody else.
That's true. After beating on each other, particularly somebody the size of this guy next to you, Greg Benson. Greg, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
All right, Greg, I know you're a stalwart on the defensive line. You ready to wreak some havoc on the Central Macon ball carriers and quarterback?
Yeah, I'm ready to play.
Good. I know, like Josh said, too, after 5 weeks of beating on your own guys with the same colored jerseys, you're ready to go out and tear somebody else up. How was the breakfast bar for you this morning?
It was pretty good. I ate some pancakes, some grits, and some eggs.
All right, getting some of those good vitamins, get you build up your levels, because in this heat you got to be reserved and drink plenty of fluids. I know that's something both of you got to take care of, and I'm sure they'll have plenty of water and everything out on the field for you.
Yeah, they're gonna have plenty of water and Powerade, stuff to drink. I'll be pretty good.
Okay, Greg. With the years you've had in the past at Newton, I'm sure you're hoping and looking to play next year at some college. Have you heard from very many colleges yet?
Yeah, I heard from Mississippi State, Georgia, and South Carolina. They call me once a week, they be asking me questions how I'm doing and stuff, how this team doing. That's about it.
All right, well, good, and best of luck to both of you guys tonight, and particularly in the future for both of you. Greg, I know you're a senior. Josh, are you a senior also? Okay, do you have any ideas about school next year?
No, not really. I'd like to try to go play at a smaller college. If not, try to get the Hope Grant to go in state somewhere.
Okay, well, good luck to you, and bring home a winner tonight for the Newton Rams in your season opener down there in Macon. Well, Kevin, we're back again, and we talked to a few of the players. Unfortunately, we missed some of the assistant coaches. So I noticed you finally got a chance to finish your breakfast off the breakfast bar there.
Well, the deal here, of course, is that we kind of combine the broadcast and the eating thing. Like, see, Paul's in eating mode, and he can be over there and eat, but we have to be in eating mode and talking mode at the same time. Now, the talking has never been a problem for either of us, and the eating is normally not a problem, but combining the two can be.
You're right, and we are on kind of a time budget.
Yeah.
But I managed to wolf mine down before we got started, so I was a little more fortunate, I guess. But exciting night again tonight. Eastside Eagles making their varsity debut, and the Newton Rams kick off their season opener, traveling down to Macon, taking on Central Macon.
That's right, the Central Macon Chargers, and to the best of my knowledge, we are a 7:30 start tonight, and to the best of my knowledge, you guys are a 7:30 start tonight, despite what might be printed in certain reports, in certain circulatory print kind of things. Is that generic enough there?
I think everybody got the idea, Kevin. But every schedule I've seen shows Eastside starting at 7:30, and everything I've seen also shows Newton kicking off at 7:30.
Yeah, and going back to the eating issue for just a moment, we really want to thank the Shoney's people for having us here. And, of course, we're on Highway 278, the Shoney's right here in Covington. And we're leaving, but the breakfast bar, at least the remnants of it after we're done with it, is staying. So come on by, get some breakfast bar. This is one of the best places around to have some good breakfast at a reasonable price, and just basically have a lot of fun. You can come here early next Friday and every football Friday if you'd like to watch us do the coach's breakfast. We're used to being watched. It's not an issue there. And we're in the back room, but once we're gone, still welcome to come by. And again, to the folks at Shoney's, we thank them very kindly. They're very nice to us, and they have been now. This is our 4th year doing the coach's breakfast here at Shoney's, and we're looking forward to another great year of a relationship with them.
I would like to echo those sentiments exactly, Kevin. And like you said, if people want to come out and watch, we now have open glass pane doors and windows, and there's plenty of tables right there. You could sit out and look at us as we walk around trying to eat quickly and talk to people. And speaking of talk to, let's get another word in with Coach Brassfield. Coach, you were mentioning, and I was agreeing with you, that we really got lucky with the weather, didn't we?
Oh, yes. I was sitting here Wednesday. My parents were coming down for the game from Mississippi, and they were trying to decide whether to come, not to come because of weather. And Wednesday it looked like no hope. We're going to be flooded. And then Thursday looked a little bit better. Today it looks great. So, yeah, I think from a football standpoint it's tremendous. You never want to open up in the rain, and obviously it's the same for both teams, but I'd rather play both teams in dry than I had wet.
Especially when you've got a running back like you do, Jonathan Price, who has the quick cutting moves. The rain and mud would really put a crimp in his style.
Well, yeah, obviously he's more of a slasher, and people that cut like he does, sometimes the weather affects them more than it does guys that are pluggers or straight ahead runners. So we want to give him the best possible traction we can and the best possible chance to be successful, which in turn is going to make our team more successful.
Have you been out to the field to see what kind of shape it's in?
Out in Macon, the field out there?
No, our field here at Sharp.
I haven't been to Sharp since we played there last Friday night. No, I'm sure it's fine. I know that they've done a good job getting it cut, and they bought a new mower, and so the field here at Sharp is in good a shape as it's been in 2 or 3 years since I've been here.
They normally do a great job. The field normally in great shape, unless you get a real torrential downpour during a game, that tends to tear it up, but they normally seem to get it fixed up. Field can play a difference in a game, unfortunately, and the weather does. Speaking of slashing-type runners, you're starting a sophomore quarterback this year, Kerry Gilstrap, and I know he's quick off the ball. Do you expect him to do a lot of running, a lot of optioning?
Well, option is going to be part of our game plan, obviously, and we're going to use the veer option to help set up a lot of things we do offensively. And we feel like it gives us, we got a couple of good fullbacks, and we got a good quarterback who can read it, and he adds another dimension to the backfield or the offensive side of the ball with his running ability and his, I guess, escapability. I mean, sometimes things can go terribly wrong, and he can make something right out of it, which with an athlete back there, that helps sometimes. So we're looking forward to him. We realize at the same time that we can't put the game on his shoulder at this point in his career. He's only a sophomore, and with a good supporting cast around him, he's going to have a chance to be successful, but not have to carry the load himself.
I know from baseball he's got a pretty strong arm. How does he look throwing the football?
He's looked real good so far. He's still learning the reads and learning secondary and stuff like that. All that's new to him. So obviously, as a junior and senior, he'll have much more knowledge in that part of the game. But he's very accurate, and he's done a good job. I mean, I can't knock on wood. I don't think we've thrown over 2 or 3 interceptions even in practice all preseason. So we're excited about his chances of being a good quarterback and going out and leading the team and just having a good year for us.
With the size of your offensive line and the athletes you have there, do you anticipate trying to pound the ball, keep the ball on the ground more so than throwing it, and keep it out of the hands of the other team?
Well, I mean, we want to throw and run the football. Obviously, we feel like we got to establish the run, and with Price, we got to get the ball in his hands, whether it's either running or throwing. But we want to obviously set up the run, establish the run, and throw when we choose to, not when we have to. And I think that's the key to throwing. It's not whether you throw or not, it's being able to do it when you want to and have the capabilities of throwing when you have to. And hopefully the latter won't happen very much. And if we do what we're supposed to do running the football, then we'll better pick and choose. But we want to move the chains and control the ball and obviously keep our defense off the field and basically just not turn the ball over. And that's the thing that hurt us last week in Jamboree with turnovers. And we hadn't talked much about that, but if you turn the ball over consistently, you're going to have problems. So it's something we've had to work on this week. And a lot of times it's just a mindset and being able to control the football and concentrate on controlling the football and securing it. So I think we'll get better at that this week and go from there.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. Hopefully you got enough to eat for breakfast. Always good eating here at the Breakfast Bar at Shoney's.
Oh, it was tremendous. They do a great job, and it's good food, and I was glad to have it out here. Before we get going, I wanted to congratulate our JV football team. They had a win last night, I think 26-25, in a very exciting game where they held Heritage as the clock was running out on 2-point conversion. So to Coach Johnson and all the JV kids and Coach Kenny, congratulations on a great win for them yesterday.
Thanks a lot, Coach Joe Brassfield, and good luck tonight in your opener as head coach of the Newton Rams.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Kevin Holden, about time to wrap it up. We're at our first football Friday of the year. I'll be out at Homer Sharp Stadium with the Eastside Eagles, and you'll be down in Macon, Georgia, versus Central Macon with the Newton Rams.
Wonder if that stadium has a name. There are a lot of other things it hasn't had until recently, so wonder if they've named it yet. But we'll be there regardless for the Newton Rams and Central Macon Chargers tonight. You'll be here, East Paulding Raiders, East Side Eagles. Nice to say it for the first time at the varsity level. You're going to have yourself, I'm sure, a tremendous matchup tonight. Folks out there in Radio Land listening to us in Covington and surrounding areas, tonight is a special night in Newton County football history with the debut of the East Side Eagles, their first varsity game. You can say that you heard the first game with the inaugural play-by-play team of Bill Dolan and Tim Bice tonight. 7:15 tailgate show, 7:30 start. Don't miss it. I say that a lot, but I mean it this time. Don't miss it.
That's right, Kevin. I'm really excited. I talked to Tim Bice last night. He's all fired up. And the Booster Club has done just a tremendous job out there getting everything ready to go for the East Side Eagles. They're going to be wearing those beautiful home green jerseys. I love that green. And hopefully they'll be able to put a lot of points on the board and do a great job. We talked about some of the strengths they have. And next week we will have an interview with Coach Van Tone talking about a little bit about tonight's game and about the coming game next week. But I guess that's going to do it for now, Kevin.
That's right, and I'll tell you what, for tonight's game, for both East Side and Newton, one big key to winning the game, scoring more points than the opponent. I think that will be probably the number one key to winning.
I think that usually works. If you can put more points on the board than the other guys, you normally win.
I asked a couple of years ago, I have to tell this quick story before we send it back. A few years ago, last week of the season, a very crucial game between Newton and South Gwinnett. And I called Larry Williamson, who's the head coach of the South Gwinnett Comets, and got his starting lineup from him and asked him, said, Coach, to you, what do you think is the number one key for South Gwinnett to win the game tonight? He said, well, Kevin, I think if we score more points than Newton does, we'll win the game tonight. And I didn't know exactly how to take it, but it really is a credo to live by, I suppose, in football.
Okay, Kevin, I guess that's going to do it from here. Once again, we'd like to thank the fine people at Shoney's for putting on the coach's breakfast for us here. Everyone seems to have gotten their fill. We've had a good time. I know I'm filled up and ready to go throughout the day, and they did a great job, and we'll be back again next Friday. But tonight, be sure and tune in at 7:15 live on WGFS. The East Side Eagles will start their inaugural varsity season, and tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. you can hear Kevin Holden and the Big Dog on tape delay as they bring you, hopefully, Newton Rams' first victory over Central Macon. That'll do it from here. Back to the studio and Susan. To give you a little advance warning on the football for the rest of the weekend, Saturdays for the college and Sundays for the pros. Big Dogs has been doing this for the last couple of years. I hate to say last year's percentage wasn't that well, but I guarantee I've done a lot of off-season scouting and also a lot of reading in the magazines, and I think that the Big Dogs picks will be doing a lot better this year. Let's go ahead and look at Week 1's picks. They'll be looking at two pro games this coming Sunday. Let's go ahead and look at those. The Minnesota Vikings sell their ship into the Georgia Dome this weekend without their quarterback, Warren Moon. The Vikings have a quality football team. They also have Jay Greed, a former Newton County football player, as wide receiver, a starter, also probably a Pro Bowl selection this year. But without Warren Moon, the Vikings are probably not as good as they usually are. The Falcons always look good at home inside the Georgia Dome, so it's safe to say the Falcons will win this game on Sunday. Take the Falcons. The second pro game are the Carolina Panthers versus the New Orleans Saints. The Carolina Panthers are still high off their season-opening win over the Atlanta Falcons. They traveled down to Bourbon Street in New Orleans to take on the Saints. New Orleans are having a lot of controversy with their coach, not their quarterback, their coach, Jim Marr. They're always threatening to fire him, but he's still there. New Orleans are a 3-point favorite, but the Carolina Panthers have a very good football team. I think it's safe to say to take Carolina. Let's go ahead and jump into the college picks now. This is mostly the first weekend for most college teams, and the first one for Georgia Tech. We'll look at Georgia Tech versus my former football team, the NC State Wolfpack. The Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech traveled to Raleigh, North Carolina to take on my former team, the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. Tech is a 1.5-point favorite, but both teams have brand new quarterbacks who have never taken a snap. The rain from Hurricane Fran will make everything sloppy and wet in Raleigh, North Carolina, so the running game will be a deciding factor. Georgia Tech probably has the better backfield, so as much as I hate to say it, and as much as I hate to go against the Wolfpack, take Tech and the 1.5 points. Michigan State versus Nebraska. The Spartans of Michigan State go into Cornhusker country and tangle with the national champions from Nebraska. The Cornhuskers have had a lot of off-field controversy this past offseason, but they still are the best team in the country. The Wire say that Nebraska should be favored by 29, and I probably agree. The Spartans will be lucky to keep this one close. Go with Nebraska. Southern Miss versus Alabama. The Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles continue their hike through the SEC with a stop in Birmingham to take on the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Southern Miss is not a very bad football team. They showed that last week with an 11-7 upset victory over the Georgia Bulldogs in Athens last week. Alabama, under the direction of Gene Stallings, will be ready for the Eagles and will cover the 10-point spread. I think it's safe to say, go Crimson Tide. The Blue Devils of Duke take on the Florida State Seminoles. The Blue Devils of Duke have the undesirable task of playing Florida State this week. To top that off, they have to play it in Tallahassee, Florida. The Seminoles are favored by 37.5 points, but this will be their first game of 1996. The Seminoles will win the game, but I don't think they'll win it by 38 points. Take Duke in the 38 points. Louisville at Penn State. The Cardinals of Louisville travel north to College Park, Pennsylvania to take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State. Penn State has another Heisman talented running back that ran for over 250 yards last week. The Nittany Lions are favored by 20 points, but let's not forget that the Louisville Cardinals can play football as well. I don't think Lou Paterno will run the score up very much, so I think the 20 points are pretty safe. So take Louisville into 20 points. North Carolina versus Syracuse. The Tar Heels of North Carolina march up to New Jersey and tangle with the Orange Men of Syracuse in the Meadowlands in New Jersey. The Heels are coming off a 40-point thumping of Clemson Tigers, but the guys dressed in orange from Syracuse are a lot tougher than the Clemson Tigers. Plus, North Carolina hardly ever plays on artificial turf. Syracuse is favored by 3 points, and I feel they'll win by more. Take Syracuse Orangemen. The Auburn Tigers hosts Fresno State. They had a football team in Fresno State. Where is Fresno State? The Auburn Tigers will play host to the visiting Fresno State, whatever their mascot is. This game will not be pretty, I guarantee you. Auburn is on a mission this year to gain some respect since the exit of Pat Dye in their post-probation years. The Tigers are favored by 17, and I look for the Auburn Tigers to be ready. Take Auburn in all those points. And finally, the UCLA Bruins take on the Tennessee Volunteers in Tennessee. The Bruins from UCLA travel all the way from the Golden Shores of California to tangle with Tennessee before 106,000 screaming Volunteer fans. Tennessee has a probable Heisman Trophy winner in Peyton Manning. This quarterback has all the tools to lead this team to the SEC championship and maybe the national championship this year. Tennessee is favored by 18, and I think they will cover this spread. Football in Southern Cal is not what it used to be. Southern Cal and UCLA's football programs have dropped off dramatically. Wonder why? Probably that beach volleyball. Take the Volunteers in this game. So those are the big dogs picks. 10 picks, 2 pro, 8 college. I guarantee you, if you sit there and talk with your buddies before these games, listen to these picks, and I guarantee you'll be okay. We'll talk about our results next week in week number 2 of Big Dogs Picks. NASCAR is going to Richmond, Virginia this week. You better look at Rusty Wallace. He always runs real well up there. Thanks for listening, and good luck to the Eagles and the Rams in the second half.